Hello and welcome to today's last chance qualifier. It's the first day and me as a host, Warren1x, together with Zakota. Hello Zakota, hope you're doing absolute best and hope you are as excited as me for today's matches. Today we will have a lot of BO1s. I think there will be 6 if I counted correctly. Maybe I'm wrong because I think marked 4 from math last time. But so I leave it to you. Is it six matches today?
I believe it is in these 6 matches the last chance qualifier, double elimination. So if you lose in the top brackets, you still have a chance in the bottom brackets. So don't worry, everyone gets 2 chances. Remember, this is gonna be, I think, the hardest tournament we've had so far. I think the relegation and the Thunder division was cakewalk compared to this. But Warren, we talked about some of the teams before we started. Which one do you think is gonna take the cake? I've sent a few of my favorites. Which one do you think is the best?
Well, looking over it once more, I see a lot of things that can be interesting. For example, I would love to pinpoint Method Black because they rebuilt their entire roster. It's basically a new team. There is no one to be seen from the last roster other than if someone renamed, which I don't believe is the case. So that will be a completely different Method Black. We will see how they will be able to either take the mantle of the old Method Black and like get it up higher than before, or if they will still not go through like was the history with Metal Black before. So we will see. That's something very exciting for me at least. Also, I'm looking very thoroughly as Meta Shift. I will be very excited about them because I already like the name. So I hope they will bring us some meta shifting and they will show us a completely different meta read. Maybe it's just a name, but maybe it means something that we should be careful about in the draft. We will of course see if we catch them. Right now we cannot really tell you who will be casting because it's still being worked on, so it's going to be a surprise a little bit. But who would you like to see yourself, Zakota? I know you have a little bit of interest in one team especially.
I mean, we're gonna see my team, big mistake again on the big stages, as I like to call it, the big leagues. But as you said, Method Black, completely new lineup. I'm looking forward to it, but there are also some new, stronger ones that I have a bit of faith in. But it's still too early to tell. I mean, there is strong teams, really strong teams. Personally, I've seen around 10 extremely strong teams. Gazdavat, Big Mistake, Method Black. There are so many. Honor from Georgia, one of the strongest teams in Georgia, I think, if not the strongest. There are so many possible people to take the charge, to take the first place. I mean, hey, it's gonna be the hardest tournament, as I said. Everyone can join it, even if you lost relegation. Maybe even if you lost Thunder division, there's always a chance for you. There's always a spot for you. But I'm so excited to see what's going to happen. As Warren said, we don't know who we're going to be casting. It's a surprise even to us. But I hope we're going to cast some interesting games. But let's take a quick look at the Thunder division bracket. If it's possible, I think we should get a quick reminder and maybe move a little bit down. No, Warren?
Well, a quick reminder for Thunder Division will definitely be in place since it's probably the toughest teams that we will be seeing in regular season. But not only thinking, well, here it is, here we have it. Jackpots for me in the first place, Minerva Fury second, Omniglis is like the upper echelon, the top 3, and then you kind of have it a little bit separated with Stolen Angels, Void Kids, and Event Order being at the tail. And unfortunately, Aki and Metal Black, as you already all know, didn't make it. So that's why we saw them in promotions relegations. But well, from all those teams, I already let myself be heard that I'm looking forward to Jackpots especially and Minerva Fury. Are you sticking with me with the higher echelon teams, or you have some wild cards up in there in the top 6 that qualified?
I mean, in the top 6 right here, I think there are some strong teams. I mean, there are some mysterious changes that happen behind the lines. Only we know about it. But some teams, I think, are stronger than ever, I think. Stolen Angels are going to be going up there. Same with Void Kids. I think they're going to be taking the charge. Maybe even contesting the reigning champions. But still, it's early to tell, Warren. We have to get an idea of how strong they actually are before we make some empty promises to the viewers. But as we see, Method Black here was in the Thunder Division, was in the top echelon, same with Ake. But both of them went to relegations. If we could take a quick look at that one as well, just to get a reminder. But Black, as we see, we got a bit of a spoiler. It went down to the last chance. So it's the last time we're possibly going to see Method Black. Who knows, maybe they're going to take the #1 position in this year tournament.
Well, it's hard to say really, but well, we already heard it a little bit from Jurek in that interview where he let himself be heard that, well, they are looking to disband, and true to their words, they disbanded indeed, and it has been completely rebuilt from the ground. I don't know if you know those players behind the curtains, so if you kind of can tell us a little bit more. Of course, some people watching definitely know some of those players, but if you have kind of someone spicy in mind from that roster.
I mean, from the roster, looking at it, Hawk is one of the best XP laners from Ukraine. I think he's a top 10 XPs possibly of all time in Europe. He has been a solid player throughout the years, throughout the metas. Nothing really has changed with his gameplay. And I mean, Shen, also a really good player. Awad, also a really good player. Both of them from MPL MENA. Mindark, a really strong marksman. And they have another, I think, Viral is the captain of the squad. So it's a bit still too early to tell, but I think the lineup is going to be extremely strong. It's early to tell, as I said. But let's take a quick look at the relegation promotion. We're going to see a little bit more about Method Black. We're going to see where they went wrong. A quick look at Group A and Group B. Eternal Oblivion, Ake, Tini Bambuse, and big mistake, my own squad at the very bottom. I was not expecting that, Warren. But look at, I mean, it's, I think, the weakest out of these two groups. But look at Group B, I think that was the death group.
Well, Group B definitely were taking points from each other, whereas Group A kind of had it a little bit easier. You can be looking at Teeny Bamboozle and Big Mistake. Of course, you shouldn't be comparing Teeny Bamboozle and Big Mistake because Teeny Bamboozle made it through, whereas Big Mistake unfortunately did not. Fortunately for you also, Zakota, I feel you, my man. But if you look at Group B, everyone was taking points. And even though Glitch Code ended up at first place with 7 points still, Metal Black, even though at the bottom they have 1 point, Fake Time 3 points, Mental Mori 4 points. So kind of dev group, as you have said it, where everyone was taking points from everyone, where for Group A, it was a little bit, not very easy, but you can say like Eternal Oblivion were very firmly in the first spot, even though Ake have only 1 less point than they do. If you looked at the matches that they played against Team Bamuza and Big Mistake especially, it was so much easier for them than in the Group B, where I felt like everyone had to be locked in every game. You couldn't ever put your foot from the fuel pedal, and you always had to be ready. So right now, when we look at it, it reminds me very well about Eternal Oblivion, because that's a team that from promotions relegation stole my heart a lot. Of course, probably stole heart from a lot of viewers, but Eternal Oblivion, in that first place, in that Group A, looking so much forward to them, and you should definitely be looking forward to to this team, to this lineup as well, because I feel like the matchup between them, Jackpots, Minerva Fury, and Omniglitch, those top 3 from Thunder will definitely be very spicy and something to look out for.
I mean, let's take a quick at the regular slots right here. We're gonna have the top 5 teams from the Thunder Division, top 5 teams from, I mean, top 6 from Thunder, top 6 from relegation. There's gonna be 4 last teams that we still don't know, which are gonna be 2 invited teams and 2 teams we're gonna get. I mean, this weekend we're gonna get them revealed. It's gonna be a big thing. It's gonna be one spicy tournament. Just taking a look at these teams, I remember playing with them back then. They gotten stronger and stronger over the years. They didn't give up. But invited teams, I wonder who they're going to be. I mean, we're not gonna be, revealing them, of course, but I hope they're going to be some powerhouses, Warren. So we have something spicy to talk about, maybe some new rivalries, maybe some old fire rekindling, just that old rivalry. I mean, back then there was this rivalry between Method Black and the best team at the time, Rogue Esports, and it was, I think, top 1, top 2, I believe, for 1 or so years. And it was a mayhem. Just meeting them in rank, it was extremely scary. You're just really scared of them. The players were really good mechanically. They weren't scared of anything. They were trying drafts. They were playing like professional players. I mean, scary stuff. But even so, Warren, out of all these teams, your favorite is Jackpots, right?
Well, it definitely will be a battle between Jackpots and Eternal Oblivion. Also, I have a little bit of a wildcard myself. I like Void Kids a lot because I love the form that they showed at the end. I love how they pulled up from the deep depths of the ladder and ended up in the Thunder, like going through the qualifier with Thunder Division. I really like what they did there, so that's my wildcard. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Jackpots and Eternal Oblivion especially.
So good news for you. There's gonna be Jackpots team number 2 in this last chance qualifier. They're gonna be a spicy team as well. I mean, they have a really solid lineup, but it's still, compared to the others I've shown in, it's still night and day difference. Those players, I think, are going to take the charge, of course. I think there may be dark horses, but it's going to be a complete slaughter out there. But do you remember that we talked about the top picked heroes? I think it was something unexpected a little bit. There were so many heroes that were top picked that were unexpected. Even the most bans, I think some of them were expected, but some went through so many times, especially the Fanny. Eternal Oblivion, I really like that Fanny against Big Mistake, if you remember. I mean, 2 games in a row, they completely slaughtered Big Mistake. I don't think they could have done that. Fanny coming in from Hangi was completely demolishing. It was a monster on that field. But man, it's gonna be a really nice day today. It's gonna be a long day, of course, but it's gonna be a day full of surprises.
Well, of course, BO1s especially are pretty deadly. Right now looking at the bracket, so we kind of can see Wu is matching up Wu. At the first, we see that there are some free rounds, if I see it correctly. So some free round 1 winners, you can say. But of course, it doesn't really mean that much because there's going to be so many more rounds. And just to quickly go through what are we expecting, what there will be, how is the plan. Of course, today we will be seeing BO1s. But tomorrow we will see a little bit more BO1s, but then we will be going into those BO3s as come semifinals, and the big upper bracket and lower bracket finals will be BO5. So until the semifinals, really, even though it's double elimination, it's still pretty risky because even, of course, you lose now, then you go into loser bracket, but suddenly it's just 1 lose because it's 1 game, it's BO1s. It will be BO1s through multiple rounds until you reach semifinals. When you reach semifinals, well, then you are kind of being a little bit more safe. And of course, in the upper or lower bracket finals, then it's 5 games. So it's the most safe you can be. But until then, even though with the double elim, it's super stressful, super risky. As you were saying, Zakota, it's probably one of the hardest qualifiers, one of the hardest tournaments that we had over here because it's so deadly. And as we are going through the teams, I am sure that you can see a lot of the teams that we talked about. I am positive that you can see a lot of the teams that you are rooting for yourself. So definitely let yourself be heard in the chat. Drop some hashtags for your favorite teams. Hype it up. And especially be sure to drop that like button because I heard there are some giveaways. Zakota, will you be joining today for those giveaways, or will you stand from them so you leave bigger chance to our viewers?
I mean, of course, maybe that is depending. Like, if we hit those big Legos, I think the giveaways also will increase in size and in the prizes. It's gonna be nice. But man, the giveaways have been so nice. I won one myself and it was nice. I bought one of my favorite skins, as I said. But if we take a look at the qualifiers already, at the brackets, some teams already went forward. I mean, some of them are spicy matches, but it's gonna be really nice. Of course, today, as Warren said, they're gonna be best of 1s, the semifinals are gonna be best of 3s, and the big finals are gonna be best of 7s. So that's gonna be extremely spicy. Get ready for that, guys. But soon, we're just getting ready with the teams. They're also just getting in the lobbies as well. We're gonna have some spicy games. Who do you expect to get to the top? And who do you expect to maybe not make it so high, Warren? Do you have any expectations for some of the teams?
Well, I wouldn't really say who I don't expect to get really high, because even though you can, I know we were going through it, so I caught glimpses of some of the teams. I didn't quite catch the bracket as a whole. I didn't get through all the duels. And the thing is, even though they can have someone tough in the first round, then someone weaker will probably fall to them in through the double elimination in loser bracket, and they can still make it through. So we will see in the future how it kind of rolls out. That's definitely something that's left a little bit hidden for the future. I wouldn't really be feeling myself right to call something like that. I think still, of course, a lot of strong teams, but at the same time, time there are not weaker teams, but like not the strongest on the tournament, but they can still duke it out. And if they are lucky, you know, it still a little bit comes down to luck, because if you look at the sports competitions, sometimes you can be very strong, but you match the hardest opponent that you can match. It doesn't really go well. And on the other side, there can be someone who is a little bit weaker, but you know, he's a little bit more lucky. So we will see how the luck will involve. Of course, the deeper you go into the tournament, the less important is how lucky you are, because in the end, you are matching one of the toughest teams. So don't take me wrong. Of course, the one that goes through into the regular season, the two qualified teams, the winner from the upper finals, the loser, not the loser, but the winner from loser, or like the double elimination lower bracket finals, that will make it into the regular season, will be definitely very tough teams, and they will be definitely a great addition, which kind of brings me to a point that we were talking about before, and that's the invited teams. I would just like want to give a quick thought to that from myself, because there is definitely like two ways to go around that, because first thing can be, oh, we have most big heroes, so well, let's go over that for a little bit. CC, it's kind of expected, got to expect as well. Jisunshin kind of really as well, but Harit, I'm kind of surprised. Aren't you surprised about that, or it's something you expected, Zako?
I mean, Harvard has been rising in popularity in other regions as well, so I think it just follows the meta. But Katotkacha is, I think, too high. I was expecting Grok to be there, but I think Grok is one of the most banned heroes. I mean, Cici as well, I think she's one of the most banned heroes as well, but Granger, you know, strong heroes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now when you talk about Grog, I feel like Grog is pretty much a spicy pick. It really comes down to the, not really to the player especially. I feel like, of course, those big tectonic charges are super important, and if you can hit those, you can make big space for your team. But it really depends if your team joins you up. And if we are talking about heroes that cooperate with the team, those are definitely the heroes that are in the most banned section, because Baxia, Angela, Jukshin, Kimi, Kalia, those heroes are one of the best cooperative heroes in the pro play, and you can see it up there, because who else would be the most banned? Of course, CC being most banned and at the same time being the most picked really speaks a lot about this hero. Probably they should think about the nerf, maybe. Just speaking from experience, because one day I was laning with Lapu Lapu into her, and I wasn't really having fun, Zakota.
It's a really hard hero to lane against if the enemy is good, but CC is such a versatile hero. She can go on the gold lane, she can go on the experience. You'll never know where this is going to go till like the later draft stages. Because maybe they're gonna push it on the gold lane, because if they have a marksman jungle or a marksman on the mid lane like a Kimi or like a Yisunshin, it's gonna completely change out the game. But who knows? I mean, it's a possibility. Same with Ruby. That's why Ruby is sometimes banned, because it's a counter pick to CC, but it can also be flexed in 3 roles, you know, roam, XP, and gold lane.
Absolutely, we saw a lot of, well, not a lot of, but we saw Capel, Ruby's gold lane. She's definitely a fun hero to look out for. A lot of CC coming from her, a lot of crowd control, so she can definitely make the fight either very hard for you if you are on the other side, or very easy for you if you are on her side. Dangerous Grass, that's something that we didn't see quite that much of, at least in the part where I was casting. I felt at the moment when I was over here with Scared, we had so many expanding rivers and so many flying clouds, so I am kind of excited about teams looking for Dangerous Grass. From your a little bit more competitive point of view, do you really feel like you can build a team comp about around the map that you choose? Is that something that's really happening, or do you feel like it's not that much of an impact and it's just like kind of there?
I mean, for some teams it is there, but for some other teams they just completely ignore the modifier. For expanding river, you can have like slower heroes, you can have like tank XP laners to rotate to objectives faster. In Broken Walls, you can have like Yisunshin farming 2 buffs, you can have so many different possibilities. Dangerous Grass, you can have more campy issues like the Kadita, Eudora, something that can pick off heroes, even a Kalea. I mean, with Flying Cloud, I think it's the weakest one. I think it's the worst one in my opinion, because it's so useless towards like the mid game, because you're always gonna be on the map. In late game, it's gonna help you because you rotate faster, but like during the game, not so much, impact.
I agree. It definitely comes down. Flying Cloud, especially, I feel like comes down to the fact that you can, of course, shop outside of the base. That's like the basis for MLBB. And I feel like if you were shopping in the base, then Flying Cloud would make much more sense. But since you don't need to recall, and many heroes that are meta don't really either have that big of mana issues or they don't even need mana. So I feel like Flying Cloud is definitely on the weaker side. So I agree with you. We are hopping into the draft. Who are you expecting to be banned for both of those things? Let's just go over it. We have Franciaki Lashini on the left side. We have, is that Lashina himself? I think it is. Shout out to Lashina. My first cast over here in Search Europe was with that guy, so yeah, I feel him the best. I hope for him the best in this duel. He will be joined with Zane, Angel, Mitsu, and Vujek against M7, Sanadishka, Sabul, Fekolank, IQ, and Ademski. If you look at those lineups, it's of course BO1, so I feel predictions can be really strong, especially when the draft unrolls and we see the bans, we see the picks. But right now, looking at the players, can you tell us who you expect to come out on top?
If it's honestly speaking, I think M7 is the better team right here, better members. They have a bit more history, but Lesina is also a really strong mid laner. I played with him a little bit, but it all depends on the draft. It's a best of one. They should go right here for comfort picks here, not for something that's gonna be extraordinary. You don't have to go for a late draft. The sooner you end, the better for you. If you go for a fast draft, you're gonna have a bit more of an impact because you're gonna get fed early game. You're gonna have a better snowball potential. But knowing M7, they have a weird lineup. Ademski is a really good jungler, but he kind of chokes on most really tanky-ish heroes like a Fredrin. He's not that good on Fredrin. Sabo is also really good on marksman, but he also lacks some positionings. I cannot say a lot about Lesina's team. I mean, I didn't see them play a lot. I have heard about them being decent, you know. But M7 is just a completely different level. We saw them also, I believe they were top 8 in the relegation leaderboard. They didn't get to qualify. They were not top 6, but they are still strong. But a quick look at the bans. Arlut, Bakshia, Sisi, and Kimi. Pretty strong picks, but Zuxin is still left open on the table. There are still some picks that are on the table. The Kalea as well. It all depends. As I said, it's more comfort than it's a draft because you cannot prepare for game number 2. You cannot prepare for game number 3. It's only game number 1 that matters.
Oh, absolutely, and I love what they did. Alice Bench, we saw her many times after her rework, being very active in the competitive scene. Especially now over here, we saw Jungly, we saw Professor Black, we saw many players being very successful on that pick. So I kind of see the vision, of course, especially if you can pair her up with something that typically has mid lane prio or like a roamer that can kind of make the pressure on the map. It really works well since in the early game she doesn't have the best wave clear, she isn't the strongest on the rotation, so it makes a lot of sense that it would be the stronger pick for the red side. So I see the vision coming from the blue team to go for that ban. Of course, Grog being banned out, so we will not see Grog, but maybe he will move up in the bans. That's maybe something that could happen. But looking at it right now, with the bans that we have, is there something that you feel they should really go for?
Juxin is extremely strong right now. Angela is strong, Fredrin is strong, Lance is strong, Isunshin is strong. Those are some of the heroes I can name off the top of my head. I mean, Kalea is also open. So many possible picks, but I think it's going to benefit M7 more because they have the second pick. They're going to go, of course, to Juxin, but I think M7 is going to answer with the Kalea, maybe Fredrin or Angela Fredrin, something along the lines. Because they are just such strong heroes. They can just have so much early game pressure. Of course, the Fredrin thrives a little bit more in the mid to late game. In the early game, yes, he's strong as well, but before level 4, you're completely useless. Before your first item, you're going to be completely useless. I mean, there are extremely strong heroes left up on the table. I mean, Warren, you play a little bit more than me nowadays. Do you feel like some of these games represent your ranks or something along the lines? Like the bans, at least?
Well, not really. I feel like I'm still running around like Legend 4, Legend 3, like going up and down and kind of got a little bit stuck after I skyrocketed through these ranks. So, like, Yeah, we tend to ban around my rank. Like there's a lot of CC bans. I feel like that's just personal. Like I feel like players don't really want to play around against her because I feel CC is very punishing. You cannot really, for example, if you take like Lapu Lapu, you feel like, all right, I can dodge his skills, or Yuzhong right now that's been just picked up. You kind of can work around dodging their spells, and that's kind of the approach. Whereas with CC, it's kind of a stat check all the time. So that's something that tends to happen. But right now, Yuzhong being picked up, that's something I'm looking out for so much. Because even though Lapu Lapu was my guy to rank up with the most, I currently have like 50 games or something, it's like 80% of my games. Yuzhong is the second one I started to work on, and since he has that feature that he has one more spell than other heroes, I expected him to be a little bit on the harder side, so still learning him. I have like seven games, so looking so much for M7, what they can show me, what they can show us. Of course, we saw many Yuzhongs being super successful. We saw Professor Black with his Yuzhong. We saw many Yuzhongs in the past. I think we actually saw Bob Barusik in his, like, one of his first games playing Yuzhong. He was decent, but from that he just skyrocketed. Especially you will I don't know, was the content that we were working on released yet, Zakot? I don't want to spoil anything.
It was not, Mr. Rumble. We're gonna see the Eastern String got to catch a combo picked up. And I agree with you, the Yuzhong is a strong pick, but it all depends on the enemy draft. Yuzhong is a backline dive hero. If the enemy have too much front, I think Yuzhong can get extremely punished, and especially with the Gatot Catcher, you're gonna lose extreme map pressure, of course. You can have the AOG go back the backline, escape with Gatot, you have the taunt, you have so much sustain on that hero as well. I don't think it compares to Yuzhong. I mean, on the XP there is Lapu Lapu, there are some other picks that are really strong set picks. Ruby can work really well. I mean, it's just, XP is just so important nowadays. People don't seem to, they overestimate how XP needs to be picked, because they're going to go for comfort pick. Maybe they're going to go for something that works for them in scrims or maybe even in rank. But I think XP needs to be a little bit tanky. They need to have a bit of front to just support your marksman, your mage in the late game, because that's going to be important. Especially you have a Lancelot. Lancelot is possibly going to go for the damage or / hybrid tank build. It's really difficult to play Yuzhong in this meta because he really needs to fill a lot of big shoes. He needs to fill sometimes the roam, he needs to fill the opener, he needs to fill the backline diver. There are so many shows Yuzhong needs to fill. That's why I feel that he is not that strong currently. But back then, I think he was one of the best, if not the best XP laner, because of the rotation with his Black Dragon. For me, could go from top lane to bot lane in a few seconds. The turtles were really in their favor, the lords as well. But the meta shifted so much that the Gacha was one of the worst heroes back then. Now it's, I think, one of the strongest because he has a taunt that's extremely long, a big AoE, and he has a long range poke damage. And of course, you have that passive that also helps him heal and do a ton of damage on top of that. But the Eve is going to get picked up. Foveus, Ruby going to get banned out. Angela, Iritel as well.
Well, I'm quite surprised by Lashini, by Renchek Lashini going for that Iritel one. Like, I understand that, of course, their opponents didn't pick their gold laner yet, but I would really feel it would make more sense for them to just, like, double down on the roam position, banning Angela and banning someone as well for the roam, because with Grog being off the board already, I feel like it would be and also Arlott, there's definitely a case for him to be a roamer. We saw that a couple of times. Because with a retail ban, I feel like you are either shooting yourself in the leg, or you have to play like 6D chess with M7 and you have something in mind and you were like, alright, we ban a retail, so they go for Granger and now we have an answer. Because if that's not the idea and they just went for a retail ban, I'm a little bit skeptical about their idea. I also wanted to pinpoint that you were just saying how Yuzhong loves to dive backline, and Renchek Lashini responded to Yuzhong pickup with a Jisunshin. Of course, he's quite mobile, he has a CC for himself, he has unstoppable spell, so he can dodge out from the harm's way, but I don't know if he is the guy to go for when you see Yuzhong.
I mean, it can work pretty well, but they're gonna go for the Bane, Lapu Lapu. Bane on that gold lane is gonna completely destroy Yuzhong. That's just gonna be the worst to put it. He can one-shot Yuzhong, he can one-shot Eve. He just has so much damage on that skill 2 on Ale. It's gonna allow him to heal a ton, do a ton of damage, but they're going to be lacking a little bit of push damage. Of course, the passive of Bane is going to allow him to do a little bit more damage to towers. Same with Yizun Shin, but that's going to be it. Compared to M7, they have the split push coming in from Lancelot, Granger, even from Yu Zhong. But, you know, it's so risky. As you said, Yizun Shin has an immunity skill, of course, but I don't think it's going to be enough, because if M7 goes for a really hard stun roamer, it's going to be a really big wreck for Lashini's teams. Oh, but Sabo went for the Khalid roam, an invade heavy hero, just going to pressure the enemies. Zayn is going to go for that little golem to get that extra XP bonus in the early game. Retribution is not there.
He's trying to play it. Sabo is in. He gets taunted up. I don't think he can follow. And there's Lashini in big trouble, but he lives.
I mean, that invade golem might not look like much, but it's such a big boost to Yizun Shin's gold that it was not really worth it to try to go for it. Edam did indeed get that little Wanderer trade-off, but Yizun Shin's gonna get a level 4 before. Sabo is gonna try to kite that little Dying Beetle in the bush. Then it's gonna be there to support him, but it's gonna be such a really hard early game for that Lapu Lapu. Yuzhong has a better pressure against him. Same with, you know, Bane. Bane relaxed early game. I think Ranger has that early game that is missing, and they stole that level creep. I mean, it's again a really good trade-off. In the top lane, we're gonna see that Lancelot going for that Lizard as well. In the bot lane, maybe the Yizun Shin is gonna rotate towards it, but he doesn't look like it. Lancelot's gonna get that creep before YSS sees it. Oh, really close, really close.
He stole it away, so that means the golem steal has been equalized. Actually, M7 are a little bit of a lead for themselves. Angel, just level 2, facing Dembski. There's Sabo. Sabo is going for Angel. Angel half HP, as the turtle will be spawning. M7 definitely in the better position to take the turtle.
Lashini is there. He doesn't have level 4. Zayn just got his right now, but Lancelot is gonna be out there trying to either secure the turtle.
They go for 10. 10 is gone. He tried to revolve manipulation, but it was too late. First blood goes for them, and then Dembski tries to run away. There is the ultimate used up. CC immune. Yu Zhong going for the backline. Zayn finishes him off anyway. Lashini goes down. There is Sabo running away, and Sanechka is trying to run away. He gets taunted up, but he should be fine. It's the great Black Dragon Yu Zhong. He is fine.
I mean, I remember a little bit of Adam's old team. He was with the Hungarian Federation. He was playing with their team. And I remember them asking me a little while to fill in for some of the scrims. And I remember them playing so good. But right now, it doesn't look that way. He's, of course, with a new team, different lineup. Everything has changed. But right now, it's in the favor of Lashini's team. It's a 233 gold advantage. A few ways, but still, it's a turtle that they lost. Zayn is extremely far ahead. He has 2 kills. It's almost that close to Hunter Strike, but look at Lancelot gold. He's not even there to get at Warx. Sabo didn't have that much of an impact. He died. He almost died before the turtle spawn. 10 was extremely poked, and he was still sticking that fight because, hey, Lashini doesn't have his ult, doesn't have his flicker. He can push a little bit, but it wasn't looking that way. Look at the Yu Zhong though.
Going for Sanechka. Sanechka runs away. He's fine. Sabo tries to make some space happen. Adamski had to drop his own camp. He will get back to it.
I don't know why Zayn is at home, but 10 got caught out.
There is a play happening. Oh, big AOG going for that flank, going down top. Sabo is in the thick of it. He's still alive. He's Khalid. Oh, immobilized. Angel tried to run away. Meanwhile, in the top side, there was a play happening as well. Misu had to flicker out. But I love what you said about Zayn. He is truly the carry of the team.
Indeed, Zayn is the carry of the team, but I think he used that Mountain Sugar a little bit too early. It didn't allow the teams to gather around for a fight. It didn't allow Angel to maybe get a taunt or maybe even bait out the flicker / ultimate from Eve, because that's the main target of Lashini's team. They're going to try to go for 10. 10 is the sole carry in the mid to early game of M7 because they're going to lack a lot of poke damage, and the poke is only coming from 10. Of course, Idam is there. He can maybe just dash around with puncture, try to do something, but Misu is there. Everyone is there beside the Bane. It's going to be an all-out brawl for the second turtle. The blue buff of M7 is up. Are they going to try to go for it? Well, take a little bit kite for the fight. Look at 10. He got caught out again. Bane.
Big stun going for 10. 10 is almost dead. He cannot join the fight anymore. Or he needs to be super careful. There's Angel going for Lank. Lank had to flicker out. And there's Yu Zhong in the backline pushing everyone away. Going for the Petrify play. Knockup coming his way. Vujek is down, but he will die for his action. Sabo is dead as well. Sonechka together with him, and it's just Faker Lank and then Dembski in the backline. 1 against 4. Can he play it? I don't think he can. He will try iframe it. But it's just not enough. And Miss You with a double kill. That will definitely put a smile on his face.
I mean, looking at the score right now, it's so much in the favor of Zayn. Look at the farm he has. He already got his boots. He has 2 kills, 3 assists. That's so much gold under his belt. He is level 8 as well. I think he's going to go for a jungle invade to just capitalize on that. Hunter Strike is purchased. Lancelot just now got his War Axe. I mean, it's so far behind. It's 600 gold. That makes so much. He has the boots. He has the extra damage reduction. But he went for the Blue Retribution to just slow down the chasing from Sabo. That was a really good play coming from him with, you know, Raging Sandstorm, but it was still not enough to punish him down because they're lacking some of that crowd control that Lesna's team has. They have the Bane with the knockup, they have the Lapu Lapu with that stun, they have Angel with that AOG with that taunt as well, and even Lesina, they have just so much stun control. Every single member of Team Blue has a stun.
Well, but at the same time, you definitely need to look out, not just for the stands, but for Faker Killang, because he, on this Granger, he is pretty much the same gold as Zayn. I don't know if you quite catch that on the scoreboard or like on the item board, but he is like 500 ahead of Vuek, but Vuek has like 3000 right now, so that basically means that he's same gold as Zayn. So even though Zayn looks like so good, 203, Faker Killang is so well for himself, but he might be dying over here because he gets airborne and... yeah, I think they know. I think that they know he is fat, and M7 need to take something in the retaliation. They
They're gonna try to go for
they to try go for him, but he is not really iframing it, but like he is of course CC immune during the line shaker, during the raging slash combination, so he will be fine. Not really even need to burn his flicker. But suddenly, range check Lashini, 2000 in the lead almost.
2000 lead, a tower advantage for them. They tried to capitalize on the mid lane being free, but still not there. Sabo with Raging Sandstorm.
Sabo goes in. Tanechka with a knock-up. There is Vujek going down, and together with Lashina. Unfortunately, your XP laner dies for these actions. Oh, 1v1 with Mishu against Adamski. Oh man, long time to not see Lapu Lapu, but looking at him right now, I mean, I have to start playing this emblem in my ranked games because that's something I didn't see. I wanted to talk about it a little bit. Like I saw it a couple of times, but usually you see the typical heal one where you get like heal every couple of seconds if you hit spells. But this of course enables you to do so much more damage, and Mishu is using it to absolute maximum.
That team is lacking some damage, so just went for that extra 8%. Every 3 skill hits, but still, Yu Zhong did an amazing play, but that taunt coming in from Angel really shut him down. Sabo is there, Ten is there, the fight is going to be probably starting over that blue buff, but Lancelot should go and split push towards the top lane. The taunt was used by Angel. They're gonna maybe even try to punish down the mid. Bane is there, Lesina is there, everyone has the ultimate and flicker ready beside Lesina. I mean, it's still gonna be a pretty big fight. And look at Satnunka, it's so far behind the Lapu Lapu in XP and possibly in items as well. In the top lane, we're going to see the Lancelot trying to punish down. Angel is there trying to look maybe for a taunt, using that Thorn Rose to escape. The poke coming in, revitalizes as well. Sabo is going to try to outpoke Lesina. Bane is there. Man, that was a quick minion. Really good play coming in.
Sabo had to run away, but now Ten is in problem. Needs to flicker out. Adamski escapes, of course, his lands, but your mid laner had to burn the flicker. 60 seconds for next turtle.
60 seconds
for the next Lord.
They healed all 3 turtles already. That was extremely fast. All of them went in favor of Reginald Leslie. But even so, Lapu Lapu is in the bottom and he has the second most gold. He is so far ahead. 6,000 golds and have the Yisun Shin 7. Almost, you know, look at that. So far behind. The Lancelot is behind the Lapu Lapu even. He is one of the fastest farmers in the game. 2 levels behind Zayn as well. Just allowing them to get so much for absolutely nothing. Sabo is going to maybe even try to punish down Mujek, but still not really. Lord up in 30 seconds. In the bottom, we're going to see the Lancelot maybe even trying to go and clear or maybe even push that bot tier 1 turret. Angel forcing the taunt. Lesina is there to support. Not going to be cooking. It's too risky to fire right now. Lancelot is going to go and try to secure his blue buff. They're maybe even going to go for an invade, but Sabo is showing himself so much. The poke from Juxin. That's why it's so bad. It's such a big poke here. So much movement speed as well. Sabo, big taunt.
Sabo goes in, but he gets picked off. He needs to run away now. Half HP deadly catch. Burned though. And Sabo will just revitalize. He will make himself full again. I feel this was such a good trade. Oh, not anymore. Landshaker into taunt combo. Now, big ultimate from Khalid. He tries to make a play, but it doesn't really happen. Wait a second. Zane could be dying. Sonechka goes for him, but he jumps away. CC immune from the harm's way, and now they are chasing for him. Sonechka still alive. Fujong in the backline. Angel, he gets pushed away by Faker Kalang. There is big revolve manipulation. They try to put Angel down, but he's alive. AOG not really hitting anyone, just missing everyone. But that immunity was just enough. Renchek Lashini with even more of a lead, 2,600 gold.
Retribution was used by Zane, but it's still in favor of Lashini's team. The Lord is up. Idam is still behind one level. That's gonna make such a big difference. Of course, he is on Lancelot, so he has the execution potential, he has the turn rose, he has the puncture. He has so many skills to allow him to get that extra damage on the Lord. But right now, they shouldn't be picking fast. They should be going only maybe for split push. Lancelot is right now wasting a lot of time. Misu, look, taking advantage of the new bushes, just allowing them to get so much vision. Angel is always Otagato. He doesn't have that AOG ready. Revitalize as well is not available. But still, he has so much HP, he's so tanky. You cannot even try to shut him down. Same with Bane, he gets so much healing from that Ale. It's not going to be enough. Sachenka is going to be in the bot lane, clearing those minion waves, allowing Regina Leslie to make even a play. Left pick roar picked up by Faker. Lord Dance already started Zane. They're going to burst it down. Already below half HP. Angel is there. Sabo is trying to get some vision. And the Lord was slain by Zane. Edemski is there. Close. But 5 members of the team are still there. Available. All ultimates are ready. Deadly Catch is so dangerous right now. But look at that. Sabo is gonna go before. No. Isn't. Saneshka. He needs to go look for a play. He needs to go and shut down Zane or Lesnar. That's the only target she'll be looking forward to. They don't have a Purify. They have nothing to escape him. So if he goes and gets a good Petrify catch, it's gonna be a big game changer.
I'm a little bit of a hater for Sabo, not really for him especially, but like for the item that he just picked up. I don't know if you quite catch that, but he got Radiant Armor. And I feel like, of course, Lashina is doing damage, but it's late game already. And I don't think Juxin is your biggest threat. I think he should really be... Yeah, I see. Yeah, of course, you also need to think about the Bane. As you look for Sonechka as he tries to run away, or maybe re-engage with that Black Dragon form. I always have to remind myself that the competitive meta Bane, he is the magic Bane. So yeah, I kind of see the vision. My bad, that's bad on my part. Sabo going in with that big ultimate. He tries to push them away, but no one to follow him through. There's this big deadly catch as he goes down, but revolve manipulation as they go for Mishu. He tries to run away. There is Angel in the thick of it. Faker Kalang finishes him off. They go for more. They chase for more. Taunted for Adamski, but Faker Kalang, he's still alive. Can he play it? Sanishka is still alive, but he gets pushed back and he dies. Faker Kalang, can he make it? There's a quadra kill possibly for him, but not really happening.
Not much they can do. The fighting is just in favor of the blue team. They just have such an advantage over M7. Look at the goal difference. I mean, the Granger is 100 gold ahead, but I don't think that matters. Just the healing coming from Bane. I think that Ale is just enough. Yisunshin is almost full build. He's gonna get that Blade of Despair, or maybe even another penetration item later. Juxin went for the Sky Piercer item. Gazdavat is so tanky, he welded and rapid boost to heal outside of the base as well. Lapu Lapu as well went for an over penetration build. Yuzhong did not get that Warx, and that's why he's not as tanky as he normally is. He doesn't get that healing that he needs. He doesn't have anything provided to him. But quick look at the anti-heals. Only 2 members of Team M7 have it. Idem's got his endless battle, allowing him to do more damage after every puncture. Damage taken, leaderboard right now to 91,000 for Angel. So much damage. Gazdavat is just a bullet sponge. He can take so much. Yuzhong with 66,000. And as well, the Khalid. I mean, the damage they're tanking is good. But look at Faker. He is not getting touched. He is barely getting touched.
He for sure is not getting touched. He keeps his way. He keeps away from the fight. He's just been on max range, only 1 death when there was possible 13 or like 12 for the rest of the team. Adamski could be possibly called the biggest feeder right now. But it's of course a little hard if you try to make a play with Lance as you get caught up and you get caught up in the crossfire. You go down, Sabo makes a re-engage together with Yuzhong. They go for that, but I don't think you are hitting the right target. Sanechka, they try to go for a knockout. Faker Kalank is still there. Sanechka live, revolve manipulation, but I think it's a little bit too late as Faker Kalank tries to finish the fight, and I think they should be chasing because otherwise they are leaving Lord for taking.
2-4-1 trade in the favor of Granishka. Again, they lost a jungler, they lost an XP laner, they lost the map openers. But right now, Zane's gonna look forward to bursting down that Lord. He has a Mountain Shocker available. He's gonna do so much burst damage. Angel is there. Look at that perfect immunity coming from Sabo, but the Lord is at 10,000 HP, not available to even contest it. The zoning is just coming through from the Lapu Lapu. Mishu is doing an amazing job. Wujek was not there, of course, but still, it's such a big disadvantage. Bane is a really strong hero, but if you don't have a marksman on the jungle or on the mid lane, it's such a waste of a hero pick because you're gonna lack push, you're gonna lack damage during fights. Of course, he has a lot of damage, but has only one skill that doesn't pawn. Tanechka, Petrify is available in 50 seconds. He should go for Lashini. That's the primary target he should go for, but he always has that Lantern Flare available to just teleport away. Sabo also with the Raging Sandstorm can get some stun, but he cannot get any follow-ups. He needs to combo with Yuzhong and with 10. That's the only way for them to maybe even make a statement fight.
Honestly, I think right now it's a little bit on the harder side for M7 because I feel like their team comp is a little bit more designed for the early and mid-game phases of the game, where right now probably Faker Kelang will be falling off a little bit. Of course, he is finishing that despair for himself, so more damage. Of course, 10 will have so much damage. Oh, big AOG going for the bottom side tower. Go for Faker Kelang, but Angel could be going down. He gets put down. He has Immortality proc. He's still alive. Sabo goes away after a successful engage. There is Yuzhong in the backline, doesn't really connect. Uses the update Petrify, forces Buyek to go for that flicker. He's tanking it up. He's making his the space for his team. Sanechka goes down, but that means that Faker Kelang can go for more together with Emski, and Emski tries to chase for Zane, but he doesn't quite connect. And Faker Kelang with a flicker play, going for him, going for more, goes for Zane. I don't think he can chase him no more because he is near his tower, but that means that M7 were successful in the defense of their base.
They did take an inhibitor for only 2 members of Ninja Kalaisky. But right now, I don't know if you noticed, the Granger was using the skills the other way around. He was using them backwards. He was aiming completely differently, and that was a little bit funny, of course. It's a minor mistake. I think it was auto-targeting the creep, but Angel didn't die. He got that immortality purchase right at the time. Idemski got that Queen Wing item, allowing him to get that reset on Tauros, on Puncture as well. And man, it's gonna be such a big play. That little execution play coming in from with a Puncture, just riding on the minion wave to punish down the team members of Team Blue, just showed how versatile Lancelot is. Of course, it's not a really good showing of the true skills of a Lancelot player, because it's a really hard counter draft for him. They have the Juxin, they have the Gazdavat, they have the Lapu Lapu, and they have the Bane. 3, I mean, even 4, you count the Yisunshin, are extremely good against him. Of course, you can immune the Bane, you can immune the Avatar of the Guardian, but still, it's extremely hard to immune every single skill at the same time. Same with Konechka. He went to dive for Gazdavat. I think that was a really bad misplay coming in from him. He just almost bait out his entire team. But the lining is picked up by Wujek, so Faker Lang is there in the top lane, getting that extra needed gold he surely needs. But in the bot lane, look at that placement coming in from Team Lashini. I mean, what can you do? They have already map control, they have river control. You didn't push out. I mean, of course, you cannot push out against unknown enemies, but look at that Lord. He's already getting bursted down. It's already halfway there. Dragon form
going in with that Black Dragon form together with Sabo, Raging Sandstorm. He goes in for that backline, petrified for Lashini, but they are getting bursted so hard. He gets slain by Buyek, and they go for more. There's big removal manipulation. Maybe it will take the Lord. There's big backline plane coming from Mishu. He goes for the Demsky. There's some retribution available. Can 10 steal it? He cannot, because Lashini has exerted for his team. Renchak Lashini, even though their god lead has been diminished by 2,000, M7 will need to defend their base once more with 2 less members on the board.
Less members, and the Lords are already marching down the bot lane. It's probably going to be a game, and right now we're gonna see 10 trying to get the last few items he needs. He is full, he has the Blood Wings, he has everything. Same with Granger, no immortality needed yet, but the poke needs to be there. They need to get that kill right here to just justify that fight that they lost. They need to try to even tank the Lord towards the middle tower to get it to burst down a little bit, but it's gonna march down towards the crystal. That's such unlocked, but still they managed to defend it completely. But the minion waves are still coming in, and they're extremely strong.
I agree, but if you look at the goal difference, it's going to be equalized even more, even further. As Sabo looks for something, just skating on the waves, not really looking for anything possibly, because Faker Kelang needs to defend the top tower. 90 seconds for Lord.
If you could take a quick look at the builds, I believe we're gonna see Lancelot doesn't have that brute force item. I mean, it's such a needed item in this draw right here because they have so many knockups. They have the Juxi knockup, they have the Bane knockup. And look at the he just now got that brute force armor, allowing him to get that extra resilience against crowd control immunities. That's gonna be such a big help towards him. He's gonna get that AOG a bit faster out there. But look at that, listen.
Coming for Lashini. Lashini needs to flicker out, even use the Lantern Flare, but doesn't survive. There is Sanechka. Black Dragon form, he's still alive. Mega kill for Faker Kalang, he goes for more. There is Big Stun going for Adamski. Adamski is still alive. Big removal of manipulation. Sanechka goes for backline. We gets to run away. Faker Kalang still available, still alive, but Adamski goes down. But Faker Kalang still with that immortality. Mid laner fold for your jungler.
Really bad play coming in from M7. They lost their jungler right before the Lord. That's just gonna give Lesna's team an excuse to burst it down instantly. They have the Ishin, they have the Bane, they have the Lapu Lapu. That Lord is gonna completely just dissolve it. You know, you put in battery acid, it's gonna completely dissolve. And nothing is going to be left, not even the bones of that Lord. But right now, Faker Kalang is doing an amazing job just poking down the enemies, just bursting them down. But I mean, he did bait out that Rose Gold Meteor from Zane, but I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's an excuse. What Edom is doing, he's just completely disregarding the tank build of Lancelot. He should have went for something, even a Radiant Armor to help against Lesina and Bane. This is getting bursted down, that's the trick of it, but look at Zane just bursting on the Lord. They're not gonna even wait. Lesina is there. Edom is not there even.
Immortalities. Mishu goes for the backline, goes for 10. He is still alive, but 10 is still alive as well. The fight is separated. Big dragon form going around, tries to go for retribution steal. Doesn't. Oh, it happens. Sanechka gets it for his team. Deadly Cash completely misses. Zane has slain Sabo, but you get the Lord. So that means more scaling for M7, and you are only 1000 off your opponents.
Really great retribution coming in from Sanechka with that skill 1, allowing him to completely save that fight. Man, play of the game, I think. That Lord steal was intense. He went to pressure the backline. Sabo as well tried to help him, but the Lord is going to get bursted down in the mid lane. Edom cannot do anything to protect it. Then is there. He can get picked off extremely easily. Look at that Mountain Shocker Call coming through. Edomski is alone on that blue buff. Lord is down. Bane is there. Everyone is there. Retribution was on point. But man, Edom is such an underwhelming press right here. He has such a strong hero, yet he cannot do anything. Just the crowd control immunity coming in from the enemies is punishing him a ton. That was a really good fight, Warren, though.
I think you kind of have to cut him some slack a little bit, because you have to realize, and I think everyone realizes it, I think even you take it into consideration. I agree he should be doing a little bit more with Lance, because Lance is such high impact hero, high skill ceiling hero, so you kind of expect him to, oh wait a second, and if it happened, Angel gets caught up, he is airborne, he gets picked off, he gets shut down, it's unstoppable. Faker Kalang, Deadly Cash doesn't even save him, as they make one pick, but that shouldn't really result in anything, because 67 seconds for Lord mean that Angel will be on the map.
I was going to give M7 an excuse to look for another fight. Sabo has his Raging Sandstorm. The Black Dragon form is not available. But Lesina forcing out that big ultimate. The flicker is there still. But, I mean, Lancelot needs to go and try to get a pick off. That's the only thing Lancelot needs to do in this game. He needs to go for Lesina. The second Lesina uses that flicker. Second Lesina uses that ultimate as well. It's an excuse for Lancelot to go while he has that tank Lancelot build with Malefic Roar. Maybe if you subsidize it for a Rose Gold Meteor to get that extra defense that he surely needs against the Bane. Even against that Yisunshin, doing a ton of damage, Rose Gold Meteor. No immortalities on Team M7. Just Faker Kalang.
Also, I'm quite surprised by the build that Mishu went. Oh wait a second, big revolve manipulation. They pick up Mishu. They go for more. Mishu couldn't even ult. He has to flicker out. Deadly Cash tries to push them away, but they still get the tower, and that means super good position for Lord. Because right now, the only ult they are missing is revolve manipulation, and they can still play it. Big KOG go in for the taunt. Adamski is in trouble. Can he run away? He's still alive. Big ultimate coming from him. He is still alive. Not anymore. Mountain Choker goes. He goes down, and it's just Sabo and the rest of the squad. Big Black Dragon form. He has his ult available, so he can make a plays happen. Well, let's see if Sanechka can steal it once more, as they will try to do probably M7 first time in the goal lead, but can they change the tide of the game? They go for Angel. Angel gets pushed away. There's Mishu in the backline, goes for Kalang. Faker Kalang is down. He has immortality, so he's still alive.
Mishu is dead.
For 10, shut down Faker Kalang, killing spree for Mishu, and it's only Sabo and 10. I don't think they can contest. I think it's in the hands of Lashini, and they are possibly looking for an end.
4 versus 2 right now. Sabo is up. The Raging Sandstorm is not available. Flicker coming in through.
Oh, they go for 10. 10 is no more. Because he is dead indeed. No flicker available for him, and it's just Sabo trying to defend the base against 4 members of Lashini. Can he do that though? He needs to defend for 15 more seconds. He tries to go for minions, gets stunted up. Deadly catch, he's still alive. He tries to do the most he can. He gets put into immortality as they go for his base. He is dead. He is dead indeed. As Lashini take the first game. And that means that they are still in the upper bracket. They will go deeper in the upper bracket, and unfortunately M7 go down into the lower one.
M7 indeed goes down. 25-minute game. It had so many turnbacks. It was a complete wild one, Warren. I mean, was it expected? No. But Lashini's team really impressed me today. I mean, wow. They made amazing play. The Lancer coming from Zayn was impeccable. A few minor mistakes, of course, but everyone makes a mistake. The pressure maybe even got to him, but he made so many good plays in the early game, allowing him to get so far ahead of Lancer. Yes, the Lancer got his lizard, he got a little bit more farm, but he lost the first third, and that's what started the snowball effect. Just giving that extra gold that Yisunshin needed, and 2 kills on top of that? Man, that's just like dinner for Yisunshin. You just need that, you're just gonna try. You're gonna take advantage, you're gonna get Hunter Strike, extra penetration, extra cooldown. I mean, you're just gonna get that ultimate back every single time for every single fight, Warren.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I love not only what they did as a whole team, but I love what they did on individual level, where Mishu, super big land shakers into the backline, super big raging slashes. In a couple of fights, he was the deciding factor to win this fight. Of course, Zayn, coming from that early game, super big guy, transitioning his team safely into the mid game where they were in super good position. But in those later phases, Mishu, he had it in his hands. His plays were just so on point, and he was such a scary figure to deal with for the opposing team. And I was a little bit doubting his build, what he did. I don't know if you quite catch that, but he went a little bit off the script from what we see from Lapu Lapus in the competitive. He went Vorax together with Hunter Strike, so a little bit more on the offensive side, and then he went for Anticurious, and then he went for Immortality, and later he went for Queen's Wings. So definitely more in a style of a ranked Lapu Lapu build, but it worked out so well.
I mean, the enemy team was extremely squishy, and his team was lacking some damage, so I think it was the appropriate build to go. Maybe if he went for the hammer early game and not the full Hunter Strike, could have been a little bit better, of course. But at the end of the day, he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't dying. He wasn't getting punished for his build, so I think that's what's really changed. But on the other hand, Idem got extremely punished. I think it was 0-8-6 at the end of the game, and I think that's really punishing. I mean, just that draft punish that Lancer. If he went maybe for a tank or maybe for a better hero to just thrive in that, it was just complete decimation. 0-8-5. He went for that extremely strong build on Lancer, but he went for the Malefic Roar to give him that extra penetration he needed for the Gazdavat and for that Lapu Lapu. Nothing out of the ordinary in the builds, just possibly that Pain. That Bloodwing is extremely early, but it just allowed him to get that extra defense and the movement speed to chase out that Granger. Not much you can do. Really good build coming from the Eve as well. I mean, Sabo's build is interesting. First went for that Athena, but he didn't go for the Antiquarius. Maybe he sold it to get that. I mean, what? That Antiquarius would have been better here because of the Lapu Lapu. You have the Yisunshin as well. Skill damage gonna lower it a little bit more. But not much you can do. He's just gonna get bursted down by the Bane at the end of the day. He was doing an amazing job, but Sanechka did indeed go for that Warax, but really at the end of his build, that's when he got the Warax. He was lacking a lot of damage in the early to mid game, and I think that's where Yuzhong thrives the most. Same with Idem. I think if he went for that Hunter Strike instead of the Endless Battle, it would allow him to do a little bit more damage and have a faster rotation. But taking a quick look at the damage dealt, the most damage coming in from them at 146,000. The losing team has the most damage. The poke on Angel and the poke on Wijek really improved the stats of that Eve. Same with Faker. He was doing out a ton of damage. But look at Idem. I believe he has the worst damage in both of the teams.
Oh, indeed. He even has less damage than Sabo. He even has less damage than Angel. Of course, you kind of expect some damage from Khalid, but from Gato, you are not really expecting that much damage. So that really paints the picture of the game, that it wasn't in the hands of Adamski, unfortunately. But you have to say two super important things about M7, and that's Stan and Faker Kalang. Like, those two were holding the team together, especially paired up with Sanechka still evaded Lord. That was super crucial. Unfortunately, it didn't go, it didn't come into fruition for them. But I feel like even though it's 25-12, I think those teams were much closer with their skill level than how it's really showed in the number of kills on both sides. I think other day, under different conditions, like if you wake up tomorrow, you give them rematch, it's quite possible to have the team switched back. So I'm really looking forward to if those two teams will rematch, if they can bounce back from the loser bracket, because it will be so exciting.
I mean, who knows? As you said, the loser brackets are still a thing. M7 has another chance to maybe even qualify for the finals, but the Lashini team is gonna move up the brackets. I'm excited to see what's gonna be next for, and I don't know. I'm excited to see the next game. If we could take a quick look at the updated brackets, I think it's gonna be amazing, because I think our match was one of the longest, if not the longest, today.
Quite possibly, especially since we actually had to jump from draft, and we had to jump into the game, and together with that such a long game that we had ahead of us, I feel like possibly most of the games should be finished by now, but maybe someone will give us another record. I think it happened in Relegations Promotions, right? We had 34-minute game. I think that was record here under Search Europe. So let's see if it changes today. Maybe it will. We already see that Divine Bloodline won against the Sunny. That means Sunny go into the loser bracket. They are waiting already in third round. You can low-key say Mamacita against Metachef. They still need to play this out. New to Culture against Renchiaki Lashini. So that's where they end up. That's where the Lashini end up. Honor against Endless Grow, because Endless Grow forced Lacarters into loser bracket. And we already see Metal Black qualifying for the first round, but don't get too excited. They had a free round, so we will have to see them in their true form against their match against Kiss Yourself.
Look at the mistake. It's there. It's already better. They won already 2 games, Mr. Warren. They're gonna be.
Oh, they did indeed.
Look at that, against Method Black or the other team. I mean, it's gonna be an amazing match. I hope we're gonna watch that one next. I want to see Big Mistake versus Method Black. I mean, 2 strong lineups. Of course, Big Mistake won the Lucio Primo. Another pretty strong team. Prime Star moved up on the brackets as well, from what I am seeing in match number 39 versus Lawyer Sword. Another very old squad coming into fruition. They won against Bankai. Ethereum EU moved up the brackets against Ascendo EU, and they won Voidland. Okay, a pretty strong team as well. Noctalis is there against Misa Exports. Another pretty strong team with some names we've seen in previous tournaments. Chipon Esports and Crystalline Circle. Crystalline Circle lost already. Okay, that was unexpected. Wow. Hack versus Aetherfall. It's still not unresolved. Academy Strong versus Boars Gaming. Another pretty decent match there. Salo Esper versus Azure Ray. One for Azure Ray. They moved up against Capra DM, who won against Jackpots 2. Warren, bad news. Jackpots 2 lost. You're not gonna see them in the finals. Any words for that?
Well, you can still see them in the finals, of course, in the lower bracket finals. That's to be decided, because they are still possibly in the loser bracket right now, fighting for their lives. But yeah, we will not see them in the upper bracket finals. Can you tell me the story behind that? Is it like a fan team, or is it like an academy team of Jackpots as an organization? Like, how do they have it?
I personally think it's more of a fun-ish team, but some of the members did play with the members of the main squad, the main Jackpot squad. So I think it's possible that it's a second team, maybe just a backup team, you know? That happened before in previous tournaments. We had in the relegations, promotions, we had 2 Glitch Code teams. Only one of them qualified, of course. But it would be nice to see Jackpots 2 versus Jackpots 1. I mean, who would have won? Who knows? Maybe the tables will turn around. Maybe Jackpots 2 are gonna win. But still, that's left to be seen. Maybe another day, maybe another tournament. But this is the last chance double elimination promotion. The next game is going to be, drumroll please, Dangerous Grass yet again, Warren. You said you didn't see it enough in the days you casted, but look at it now. I think it's gonna be stuck the entire day right here.
Well, let's think about how it was utilized by the teams in the last game that we had. If you look back at M7 against Lashini, was it really utilized by their team comps? Because it kind of slipped from my mind after I talked about it with you, so I kind of have to remind myself a little bit. I feel like neither of the teams had really a big pick-off composition. Of course, a couple of times it was used, especially with that last catch that I bursted Angel down super heavily in, like, I think last 3 minutes of the game. So that was utilized, but I don't feel like they really made their team comps around the fact that they chose Dangerous Grass. So I'm looking forward to if Gazdavat or Astra Inc will make their team comps around the fact that there is Dangerous Grass.
I mean, a really strong team here. Gazdavat, they played, I believe, only 2 of the qualifiers for relegations, and they almost promoted. Do you imagine how crazy that is? They're such a strong team. If they played the early games, if they played the other games, they could have been promoted to relegations, but they said, maybe they said, let's play the last chance. We're gonna get a few more chances to practice against strong teams as this one. Astra Inc, they have Juronsky, they have Capo, they have Marl, they have such strong players. Of course, Juronsky, previous winner of a MEC tournament. He was the XP laner of Memento Mori, Warren.
Oh, absolutely. So we definitely need to keep him in mind. So definitely excited about the fact that we will be seeing him once more. A little bit questionable about the fact that the blue side bans Grok. I feel like he is pretty decent opener. You are basically saying that you will have mid lane prior, you can then pair him up with some strong mid lane or some weak mid lane, so you enable him through the early to mid game phases and then he will carry you in late game. Of course, Alice ban makes a lot of sense. Baxia ban, they want to keep the numbers high. I think it's a challenge to the players. I have a conspiration theory. Okay, listen, I think it's not the fact that Baxia is that strong in every draft. I think it's because they saw him being first ban and they want that to keep. They want to keep it like that.
I don't know if that's true. I think the conspiracy is still a conspiracy. It is like the stuff you see on the History Channel, the aliens build a pyramid type of conspiracy. Baxia is extremely strong because he has built-in anti-healing and it can stack with the normal anti-healing to, like, I believe 70% or 65% in the recent patches, and I think that's just really strong. You're just gonna heal 70%, a smaller amount than what you're gonna heal. So like an Ejong, instead of 200, you're gonna heal like 75 or 35. I cannot do the math. Of course, I got the same gradient math as you, Warren. But we're gonna see the quick bans right now. Juxin and Eve getting out already on the stage. CC is open. Kalea is open. Yisun Shin is open. Lancel is open. Even Gatot is open right here. So many strong picks, but I don't think we're going to see a Kalea in the first few games.
I think it really comes down to who you feel is your bestest player. And, well, for Gazdavat, they are saying, alright, our XP laner is a beast, and he will show you that, because we are giving him CC, 58% win rate, under Surge, under our tournaments right here, so he will shine. And we will make the team come around. And it's at least the story that I feel they are telling us. We see how Astra Inc will respond. They responded very quickly, got off with Jisunchin, so that super strong duo that we already saw in the last game. So just based on the stats, Astra Inc should be taking it home, but I know it's too soon to say.
Of course, but talking about Surge, make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys share the stream, support the teams. You're gonna always get a chance at a giveaway. There's always gonna be a giveaway whenever we stream, so there's gonna be a chance for everyone to win some prizes. Even the top chatter, I believe, wins some prizes, Warren.
I think so. I think so. There should be something like that. But especially, it's super important if you are here, if you like our content, definitely like it, share it, because the more likes there is, the more giveaways, the more people there is watching, the more giveaways. So you are all together just winning out by doing that. And of course, the bigger, the higher, the stronger we are here under Surge, well, then you can get paid out even more in the form of diamonds and other giveaways as well. So I hope you like what you are seeing, and right now we are at the start of today. Still 5 matches ahead of us if we count this one in, and the first one was so exciting. 27 minutes. How long was it? 24. So let's see if this one will go that long as well.
Who knows, Mr. Ryan, but make sure to also join that Discord channel, because also we're gonna have here some contests. I believe soon we're gonna have a sports channel. Make sure I mean, I think there's going to be some challenge. Some of the production members said that there's going to be a challenge in that as well. We had the push-up / sit-up challenge as well. I don't know if you participated, Warren. But I mean, I think we're getting a little bit out of context. We're going to see the Lancelot and the Kimi getting picked out. I expect Astra Inc to answer with a really strong mid lane along maybe the Farsa. Right now, it's a pretty strong pick against the Lancelot with the Gazdavat. We're going to have so much space. And they're going to go for the Lapu in Ironsky's hands. Okay, that's really strong. But it's weird against the CC, isn't it?
Well, we already saw, I think it was Lito, I will keep you updated about that. Probably the biggest Lito fan over here, because I saw him and he just stole my heart by playing Lapu into CC. I was very worried about him because we saw many heroes, even Lapu's not being super well into CC, but he showed me that it's possible. It's just how you play it. If I would talk from my experience from rank games, it's possible, but of course I'm playing on super low rank, so cannot really add that point up towards the level of competition that we are having here. So let's see how Ironsky will stand up against Stonix, if he will be able to win over that. Typically, the idea behind Lapu into CC is that you play safe lane, you don't have prio, but after level 4, you can battle it out in 1v1s and you can possibly burst her down, let her use her vengeance, and then you can, in another rotation, with your ultimate, you can burst her down and get that kill, get that advantage. We will see her rate, 36% win rate only, which of course makes a lot of sense because he is one of the most picked heroes. So that means that composition of Astra Inc have a little bit of that magic damage because they were lacking that for sure. But what I'm surprised about is that they didn't go for mid lane and they didn't let their last pick to be a counter pick towards the gold lane.
I mean, I think it's statement pick. They banned out Esmeralda, one of the few counters for that hero, but also Gazdavat banned out the Lunox, banned out the Jukshin, banned out the Farsa on top of that as well. 3 strong heroes that can lane against a Kimi. Of course, Kimi being one of the strongest poke-heavy heroes. We're gonna see, of course, the Kalea and the Granger. We talked ill about the Kalea, and now she's showing up, one of the most banned and picked heroes in the dangerous grab. You know, you can just, get that Tsunami Slam, get that second skill, flicker backwards as well. There are so many possibilities in this dangerous map. There are so many close quarters where you can get picked off. But what is going to be the mid lane of Astra Inc? I assume is possibly going to be... Maybe a Kadita here would go okay. But I don't think it's going to work that well because they need some crowd control. Maybe even if they go for the Valentina. Because they already have enough magic damage. They have physical. And with the Valentina, they can get that Tsunami Slam. They can get that charge coming in from Kimi. They can also get that, Curtain Call from CC, and even if you're brave enough, you can get the execution coming in from the Lancelot. Same with Death Sonata. I mean, there's so many great choices here for Valentina, but I think Alea is top priority pick for her. But what else would work here, Warren?
Well, right now they are definitely letting us kind of think about it and make our crazy ideas come to... Well, we will see if our crazy ideas come to fruition. You were seeing Valentina. I would like Valentina. I feel like you have Lapu, you have Gato. They should probably be just tanky enough, especially if we saw from Ronsky now when he's matched against Kalia, when he see him a little bit more on the tankier side, not going like 3 damage items, but probably like just 2, and then a little bit on the tankier side, because you will probably still be able to burst Kura, you will be able to burst Vacillator, you will be able to burst Sigos, you will be able to burst all of the carries that you need to burst, and at the same time able to frontline. Valentina pickup makes a lot of sense. You can steal Tsunami Slam, you can steal the Traction Pool, you can steal even CC's ultimate. I don't know how is it on the scaling side. I don't know if that's the ultimate you want to go for, but of course it's a possibility. And you add up on that crowd control. We can already see Vacillator starting on that orange buff, where we see Nyx starting on that purple buff. Of course, be not moving into the gold lane. That's something that was a recurring fact later or like earlier in the games. And now we see players. I don't know if that's a trend. If you can tell me a little bit more about the fact that it's a switch up. Do you think that's wrong? Do you think it's no more necessary to move into the gold lane from your jungle?
It depends on the rotation you're doing. On the Lancelot, usually the rotation is you get your blue buff, you go towards that Lizard, then you go contest the Little Wanderer. And that's just gonna, again, allow you to get the most XP in the closest amount of time, just compared to Yisunshin. Of course, Yisunshin has a better farm rate because of the passive. But looking at Astra Inc, they're gonna already try to get punished a little bit Yaronski is below half HP. He still has that healing available, but he cannot lane against it. He just has so much poke in the early game with that yo-yo. But still, Yaronski is extremely far ahead. He got that crab as well. Nyx is there, just getting his level 4 ready. Vacillator got his ready to go. The mid wave is there. Are they gonna ride down on it? Capo use the taunt.
Capo goes in, and Yuri Drew, not level 4 yet. Capo is going back in. There is Nyx with big line shaker. He goes for Vacillator, puts down Zeus, and tried to go for more. Sorry for that, not for line shaker. But of course, Jason ultimate, right?
Of course, that Mountain Shocker was a really good play. But look at Yaronski, just already showing his aura, the Lapu aura. He is this close to getting his level 4 and activating that dangerous fighting stance. But still, Capo is there trying to taunt down Stonix. Not much you can do. The turtle is already in the hands of Nyx.
A little bit looked like I think he was trying to bait out Vengeance from Stonix, but didn't really happen. Also, we can see that Wronski is going for a little bit more sustain. Of course, makes a lot of sense playing into CC, which we can expect to go for the sustain as well. So he's just trying to sustain through his line. Right now, Astra Inc with 500 gold lead. Do you feel like that's something they can hold on to, or will it get stolen from them, from Gazdavat?
It all depends on the next fight, but Stonix falls at the hands of Yaronski. Didn't even use the Vengeance. The Valentina go, that Tsunami call, that IMU is gonna come in big plays. Nyx is there, Capo is there, but Capo does not have the level 4, not so does the Kalea. It's so important to get the level 4 because of that Tsunami Slam. You can just pick them up. It's basically a choke kick with full control immunity, and all choke, right? You have all the control immunity in the world, but look at Vacillator. Tsunami Slam comes through.
Oh, wait a second, there's Yuri Drew, needs to flicker away. He's still alive, but there's Kepolski together with Wronski. Going for Sura, Sura is dead. There is Big AOG going for Gios. Gios is dead as well. 2 targets down and 4 kills for Astra Inc, and they are already very firmly in the lead.
Nyx is there, Mountain Shocker comes through. Yaronski is gonna try to shut him down, but he's not that close yet. In the goal, and we're already seeing that Marlon is lacking a little bit of the range that the Granger has. But he's still an even Stevens trade. The turtle is going to be up in 40 seconds. Understrike finally picked up by Nyx. In the top lane, we're going to see Stonix going out of positioning. He's going to be a little bit further back, but look at that.
Stonix, even though he uses Vengeance, I don't think he will be living through that, and he will need to think about revenging his death a little bit later.
But looking at Yaronski, he already knows that the Cadet does not have the Tsunami Slam, but it's up already now. Landshaker is available. He's going to clear that wave extremely quickly. But he's just gonna try to bait out some of the skills. Valentina is gonna be there. She already has the book ready to go and ready to rock. That mana is not going to be a problem. She doesn't have to go back to base ever again. Maybe even if she dies, that's the only reason she's gonna go to base, because she gets so much healing from her passive and so much healing on the mana from the book. But right now in the bottom, we're already seeing that Nyx is gonna try to maybe look for a pick of Death. Is there?
Oh, he goes for Nyx. Death, it goes for Death. I mean, Nyx goes for Death, but now he gets called by Traction Pull. Big Tsunami Slam. He's still alive, half HP. He tries to push some damage back into Sura. Sura goes down, killing spree for Yuri Drew. He goes for Vacillator. Vacillator, he shouldn't have been here because he gives killing spree to Nyx.
One of the strongest teams from the relegation promotion. Gazdavat is completely getting slammed. Astra Inc is at a staggering 3,800 gold lead. Mid tower falls, top tower falls. Only the bot one stands, but Hard is gonna close that deal out real soon. Yuri Drew is there. He's gonna get all the gold he needs. Magic Boots finally picked up by Marlon, allowing to dash a little bit more when dropping that Zaman's Force. But still, look at Iron, one of the best XP laners currently active in Europe. The youngest, the baby goat, I would call him even.
He goes for Vacillator. Vacillator goes down. Mega kill for Nyx as they retreat. No, they not.
Tsunami Slam!
Big Tsunami Slam steal from Siogius.
Landshaker.
He doesn't really go through. Sura still alive. Landshaker, alright, CC up, but not. They are not able to pick up more. So Astra Inc with 6,000 gold in 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you were rooting for Gazdavat, I don't feel like the window for them to come back into the game is really that big. I think it's really small, and they really need to start doing something.
Vacillator needs to look for a fight, but Yuri Drew, Nyx, and Capo are going to secure that tier on the bot side. Lord is going to be up. I mean, the third is going to be up in 60 seconds, 80 seconds actually. But look at Yaronski. I like to call him the baby goat. He's just so strong. He's one of the best talents from Europe, one of the youngest as well, so he has a lot of time to develop his skills. But from how long ago he was playing, I remember, I think he was 14 or something when he started playing the game, and look at him now. One of the few champions from I mean, the Memento Mori from the champions. He was the XP laner during the tournament, but look at Marlon. He's going to be there on the top lane, securing that wave, but still, he is in a really precarious spot. Sonic's going to be revealing in the bush. I mean, the Kalea is there to support, Aaron is there, but the Lancer team is in a pretty good spot. But look at Yuri, Kalea coming through, slam, not available.
Going for it, tries to go for the big kidnap,
AOG!
But he gets taken down, stoppable for Nyx, AOG in the back, Stonix with a Vengeance doesn't really mean that much, a double kill, Marlon picks the 5th, and it's 7,000 for Astra.
Look at Marlon trying to poke out Kura, but that AOG was such a big brain play. He caught the Kalea dashing backwards, and Kapo slaying him down. Wait. Okura!
Okura just 1v1 Nyx and took a shutdown. If that keeps happening, that means they can get back into the game. I don't think Kura will left. I think it's just a matter of time. Maybe he can make it so that Kaposki kills him. No, not really happening, unfortunately. But Ronsky in mid lane, going for Vacillator. Vacillator still alive. Ronsky thinking about the Landshaker. Doesn't really happen. Oh, actually, Landshaker, big CC immune, going for Raging Slash. He gets a mega kill. Ronsky with a new team, looking the best he ever was.
Curtain Call coming through from the city, just allowing them to poke down Capo and Euron, but still not enough. I don't know if you noticed that, but the Kalea tried to pick up the Lapu during the Landshaker, not getting any info from that, but still, Vacillator forced to use the Retribution. Turtle is up, Nyx is there, taking down that big reptile, getting maybe some turtle soup out of it. But still, look at Euron, he's so dangerous.
Landshaker together with Raging Slash combination. He goes for Stonings, big AOG. Oh, he gets shut down. Deft picks him up. And can he get more? CGO's picked off. Killing spree. Vacillator is gone. Stonings as well. Double kill for Marlon. They go for more. CC Kalea kidnap. Going for Deft. Nyx picks up another.
I mean, the minions are already going to march down the mid lane. Not much you can say. Look at Kura. It's one of the fastest games we've seen, already 8 minutes in and already closing in on the base. Only 2 turrets besides the inhibitors are left. In one now, but look, Gazdavat 2-19. Man, what a strong performance coming from Astra Inc. I thought they were going to be a little bit weaker, but looking, I mean, compared to Gazdavat, one of the strongest team from relegation promotions tournament leaderboards. They finished, I believe, 8th or so. They are falling so far behind. Astra Inc is unbelievable. 8,000 gold, 8 minutes in, 19 kills to 2, as I said. It's almost a 10 kill ratio. Every 1 kill Gazdavat gets. Ironsky did overstep a little bit, but I think it was enough for his team to punish down the other members of Gazdavat. Yes, he did give some gold out deficit, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Lord is going to be up in about 50 seconds, allowing them to maybe have a Lord 5 dance, but Vacillator is so far behind. He's 3 levels behind the Yisunshin. Retribution has been used, and I believe Yisunshin is going to be level 14 by the end of this wave clear. But man, what a one-sided game it looks like. Stonix is there, using the curtain call.
He goes for Stonix, he uses up Vengeance, but it's just not enough. And for Marlon, they go for more. He goes for the backline. Big Landshaker. I don't think he has Raging Slash anymore. Marlon could be the target. He gets put down. No, he's still alive. Ronsky is keeping him alive. He gets immobilized. Ronsky still alive, dancing around, dipping around, goes for AOG. Play together with Raging Slash combination. Bravest Fighter goes for Landshaker. Doesn't quite connect, but what a play from Ronsky. Nyx finishes it off. He cleans it up. Goes for Vacillator. Not really anymore. He dips out. 9,000 for Astra. Oh, why did Vacillator went in? I don't understand what really happened there. Ronsky picks him up as they will go for Lord, and they will probably try to close the game out.
Make sure to support both of these teams. It's still another chance for Gazdavat in the lower brackets, but I believe Astra Inc is going to go forward looking at the game right now. Lord is up, Marlon is there. I mean, Nyx is not there, but I think it's going to be enough just for the Harry to take down that objective. Euron's going to be in the blue buff, but look at Capo, he falls down.
Big kidnap. Capo goes down. There is only Nyx, but Nyx is still alive. He jumps around, jumps away. Ronsky saving him with the Bravest Fighter combination. Sigio's not really hitting anymore. And that means you only lose a roamer. Then you pick up Lord.
The most damage dealt from the team of Gazdavat is Sisi, I believe. I don't think he's going to beat the Kalea. I think Kalea is twice there. But look at Lapu Lapu. 65,000 total damage coming in through. Just from a Lapu Lapu alone. The aura from this young baby goat is already showing. Drew is there. Lord is going to be marching down the mid lane, but he doesn't have an inhibitor protection turret. It's going to be slamming down, and it's not going to get punished for that. Marlo is going to get the Holy Crystal. Lords are going to be marching down. They're just going to slow and try to sync up the waves. What is the Kalea going to do? She needs to maybe even go for Yornsky to pick him up before the 5-star. Stonix needs to help in as well, but I don't think it's going to be enough. it's gonna be all in the hands of the roamers.
Oh, he goes in. Bravest fighter combination with Raging Slash doesn't quite connect. He tries to go for more depth. It is nowhere to be seen. He
Gladiator!
AOG! Scapo, he finishes it off. Unfortunately, Renix goes down because there is Tonix who shut him down. They try to defend order. I think they will be quite successful in that because Ronsky has no more of his ultimate available. He still has his flicker pretty much soon though, so you need still to be careful. And he will go for more. Bravest fighter combination goes for the backline. Raging Slash, not really. Raging Slash doing quite a lot, but not really finishing off with that land shaker, missing it twice in a row as they will try to. Oh, they are still diving. They are still continuing the fight. Actually, blade armor completed for Ronsky as they will pick out the last inhibitor. Oh no, they go for backdoor. Actually, Marlon, you're deaf. No more minions available. Ronsky with another bravest fighter combination with that land shaker goes for Sonic's. Raging Slash jumps away. Godlike Marlon, and I think this time they will be able to finish it off. They go for base. David cannot defend. And what can be said? It definitely has to be said that, wow, what a game. This, after the 24 or 27 minute long game that went back and forth, you couldn't really tell who will be winning, who will be coming out on top. This game was just a domination. It was just a statement, and Ronsky and the rest were like, alright guys, be ready, because we are coming for the crown. That's what I heard from the game.
A breathtaking game indeed. Gazdavat put up a decent fight, but not enough to strike down Astra Inc. The baby god was doing an amazing job just zoning out every single enemy. He was the leading damager. He was not caring. He was just trolling a little bit. I don't know if you noticed, but he was emoting near the base walls. They were doing an amazing job. Marlon was, of course, the sole carry of the game. He was doing the objective because Nyx, Capo, and Ronsky were all fighting. I mean, I believe they're not so responsible as Marlon is, but of course, they were winning so hard. I don't think they could have even lost, even if they threw one Lord fight. It was so early in the game, and if they die, I believe it was still only 30 seconds for them to get up and defend that Lord. And with how far ahead they were, I think it was enough. I mean, the Lord was marching down the mid lane. They defended that Lord. Only Vacillator died, but still, not. I mean, what can you do? They just have so much pressure. They synced up the waves. The Lord marched down. They got that inhibitor turret. They got the top. They got the bot. And they just closed it in. The CC was not doing a good enough job. As the Kacha was just doing insane Avatar of the Guardians. He was getting every single execution correct. But a quick look at the builds, Warren.
Oh, absolutely. We have Stonix running probably the most typical build that we typically see on CC. Sura couldn't really build any of his items for himself. Vacillator, the Brute for the Split was really finished there. Tsigios going for that anti-cuirass together with Athena. Makes a lot of sense, of course, if you're trying to defend yourself against Marlon, against Uridiv, but you had it kind of hard. Like, you cannot really blame his itemization. It was just rough overall. Deft, typical stuff that we can be seeing. Typical stuff overall. Something a little bit untypical, I would say, at least from my eyes. Maybe it's something that you saw in your career. But Ronsky's build, I quite liked what he did there because he realized, all right, only one that can CC me up is Kalia, and if I am just like good enough with Raging Slashes with those land shakers, I will not get CC'd up. So he went full healing. He had Emblem for healing, he had Vorax, he had Queen's Wings, he had the Amplifier for heals. He was just healing so much, and I don't know if you quite catch that. That's why I bursted laughing at the end. But he threw his first spell like without his ultimate, like his basic spell, and it did half HP of Deft. It did half HP of Sura. It was just rough game. I think this game you cannot really like think about the strategies, think about stuff that went wrong, because this was just all over the board. Better skill expression from all the players from Astra. It wasn't really like they had super crazy macro. It was just all of them were so much more skilled, at least in this game, this is from what I saw, than their opponents. Like, they were constantly outplaying them, constantly outmaneuvering them, constantly finishing better in those skill checks.
I mean, the Lapu Lapu was doing an amazing job, but it's a normal build, you see. The one unexpected thing, the Yisun, she did not go for the Warriors, went for the Endless Battle to over-penetrate enemies, the true damage that he does. I mean, it's a basic attack here, that's why ISS is, but every time he does, every time he uses that skill too, every time he uses the Mountain Shocker, it's just gonna allow him to do extra true damage to enemies, and he was just bursting them down. Look at the total damage taken. 100,000 in the hands of Lapu Lapu. 112. Just look at that. 2 members, maybe 3 members of his team can tank up to as much as this is Marlon, Drew, and Nyx all tanked what Yuronsky tanked on his own. Of course, Capo did an amazing job with that AOG, just taking everything out of proportion, just zoning every single team member of Gazdavat out. That total gold farm is 10,000 in hand of Nyx. Yuronsky, second most gold in the game, then third is going to be Marlon. Vacillator was so far behind, even he was second place in his team.
Oh, absolutely. It's so interesting that that's the game that we got after the first one, because I mean, like, even if it was reverse and that this was the first game and then we got the first one, it still would be a surprise, because suddenly it looks like the skill levels aren't that well paired up. Of course, that comes down to an open qualifier that you can just log into. It doesn't really matter. I think there are no rank requirements, so you kind of just go there and it mix and matches. So the deeper we go into the last chance qualifier, the deeper we are, then the more equal the battles will probably be. But it's to be expected that in the beginning there will be some of those games where one of the teams is very much more dominant. Of course, it could have been the draft, but you can tell me, Zakota, because I felt like the draft was pretty playable for both sides.
Draft was good for both of the sides, but I think one of the teams played the draft better, and the team who did it was Astra Inc. I think I even went over this team and I said, I don't think they're going to be doing so good. Of course, they have Eurons, they have Cap, but I didn't think it was going to be enough with Nyx in the lineup. But they proved me wrong. Marlon was doing an amazing job. I mean, everyone was doing extremely good. Drew was doing also a really nice job, but still, a really underwhelming performance coming in from Gazdavat. I had really high expectations of them, of course. But man, what a complete slaughterfest coming in from Astra Inc. I believe it was 23-2 in the end, and a 10-minute game, Warren. I mean, the fastest we see today, compared to a 25-minute game, as you said, this was a cakewalk. This was an amazing game coming from both sides. Both sides treated equally correct, but you can see the favor of Team Astra. They played for the XP, whilst Team Gazdavat played for the objectives. I mean, the XP is such a big thing, but I think we spoke enough of the last game, and we're going to get into match number 3. Let's see. The modifier is going to be Flying Clouds, Warren. You have a lot of experience with this one, no?
Oh yes, Flying Clouds. I especially love it when either I am ahead, because then my opponent is very quickly going back to the lane, so I get even more fed when he dies, or if I am being the one put down, being put behind, because then I can go back in the lane and feed more effectively, you know, so the game is over quicker. Of course, a little bit of a joke about that, but especially in the competitive scene, I feel we already talked about it, but Flying Cloud, I feel like, is the worst, like not worst, but like the least impactful. When we were talking about how you can adapt your composition around like different kind of maps, I feel like Flying Cloud is like the weakest one. So let's see if our teams will adapt and will make something spicy. If we talk about this topic especially, we can kind of look back into the last game where Astra was against their opponents, and I don't feel like they did something crazy with Dangerous Grass. It was just kind of there, and they were just kind of winning.
I mean, I think Gazdavat drafted a little bit for the map modifier, but I don't think it was just enough from the snowball effect that was already coming from Astra Inc. I mean, not much you can do. As soon as you're going to get punished early game on the XP, you're going to lose the first turtle, you're going to lose the objective. Lapu didn't even try to contest, he was just staying in the lane, not even attacking this, he's not even trying to poke her out. Just that dominance, that's like what we call in Mobile Legends presence. In League, of course, you also have presence play. You're just going to stay there, you're going to scare the enemies away because you're so strong. They already know you're good on that hero, maybe even on, especially on tank rumors. Presence matters so much because you're going to show yourself and you're going to try to go for a Gatatkacha. You cannot burst him down, he's going to have that AOG. You cannot burst down on Lapu in the early game with the CC. It's impossible. He has gonna have the flicker, he's going to have the land shaker, he's going to have the bravest fighter just to escape that circling, I mean that yo-yo away. Not much, even with the Carton Call, you have to lock him down, but still, I don't think it's going to be enough to burst him down because of the defense you already get in from the ultimate itself, the resilience built in as well. It's going to be a troublesome thing to do. As of course, skill 2 is going to give you damage reduction on top of that, and you cannot really burst him down. And of course, Yuri Drew was there, Capo was there on the top, just completely pushing out Stonix. I mean, what can you do, really? You cannot do anything.
Absolutely, it was just such a rough game. It looked so helpless. And that's something I was kind of talking about, that if this is how things will roll out, then it will look like CC has no weapons against Lapu Lapu. Of course, it really comes down how you execute it, and I think Ronsky executed it super well. But right now, oh, this is such a matchup, because we have Method Black against Big Mistake. Method Black, of course, after a super huge rebuild. No players that we saw before are in the roster anymore. It's completely new lineup. So let's see how they will duke it out against Big Mistake, which of course are heavily favored by you, Zakota, right?
Of course, heavily favored. They're my own squad. They just made a meme about me. I don't think it was 1 minute ago. They just made the meme and they just put something really funny. And I was trying not to laugh during the cast. But let's take a quick look at both of these lineups. We're gonna have Viral, Shen, Hawk, Mind Dark, and Awad for Method Black. Really strong players. Mind Black is a really good goal laner. Hawk, again, really great player on the XP. Even on the roam you can technically put him, because he's a Khalid player. He plays at Khalid like no tomorrow, but they're gonna go and lock in that CC as a first pick. Lancelot, Arlot, Angela banned out for the side of Method Black. Big mistake with that. Yisun Shin, Juk Shin, and Baxia. 3 Chinese heroes, Warren.
Well, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be able to call their ethnicity just like based on how they look. I'm not an expert in this department, so I don't really know. Like, I would probably say like Lancelot is French, but like that's where my
British actually. You know,
he's actually British. Oh, I thought he's French.
The Lancelot, the story of Lancelot.
Oh wait,
you know?
yeah. But
and
like,
Yisun Shin is actually Korean. Yisun Shin, actually, my mistake. He's Korean. He's the army general. Yisun Shin, Juk Shin, the butterfly goddess, Baxia, the turtle god. You know, these are some historical figures sometimes.
I see. But talking about the historical figures, I don't think we will be seeing Sun. I don't think he, like, probably he was meta somewhere, right? But he's probably not. I had him in my ranked game, and against me he was super strong. And typically, when he was in my team, he was like 112, and he was building something funny. So I hope we will not see him on the competitive stage. Of course, he probably would be played very well, but I guess he's not real meta, right? Vlad the Impaler with Gato, so he will be trying to impale a lot of people on his AOG. Biaza with that Kimi, so those traction pulls together with AOG, I already can vividly imagine it. When you try to run away, there is this big traction pull, it pulls you right back into AOG, you cannot run anymore, and then big Gato slams on top of your head, together paired up with that taunt Wombo combo. But talking about Wombo combos, Method Black with that Kalia Tsunami Slam together with Yugi Shadow Kill, that could be very deadly towards one especially uncareful target.
Looking at Dingus right now, he's the prime target for Method Black. I mean that's why I think they picked that Hayabusa, just for Dingus. I mean, Shrek is gonna go on one of his signature picks, the Lapu Lapu. I think you're gonna see a better Lapu Lapu than Yronski here, of course. But looking at Shen, he has that Kale with a Tsunami Slam ready to rock, and they're gonna have that Curtain Call with the Yo-Yo, just doing a ton of damage. We've seen how that worked last game. If they favored the XP lanes in the ganks, I think Big Mistake is going to win. If they favor the goal lane, I think Method Black is going to win. Mind Dark is a really strong player. I believe he's either going to be the gold or the mid lane. I still don't know what Viral plays. I know Hawk is the XP. I know Shen is the roamer. And I know... I forgot what he plays. But they're going to ban out the Joy. The Kagura is going to get banned out. The Farsa is going to get banned out as well. A really nice draft coming in from Big Mistake. They're looking a little bit more serious today. Of course, the best of ones, they're going to play something that they're used to. But Dingus, Biaza, isn't that great of a Kimi, if I'm honest. He is a really good mage. I mean, the Farsa, he's really good, he's really smart. But they're gonna ban out the Fredrin. Okay, I like that. But I think Big Mistake is gonna lock in that... what can they go for here? Baksha's banned, Fredrin is banned. What's left open? Really hard to tell.
The thing is, I kind of disagree with you, because I feel like if Big Mistake went for Fredrin, they would be lacking damage. But apparently they don't think that's the case, because they go for a Kai. that probably will be in the jungle, makes a lot of CC. So that already is kind of telling me story that Treko will go for that little bit more damage heavy Lapu, probably possibly with the emblem to amplify his damage, not with the healing one, but that's of course to be decided. We will see it on the map when we roll out. Oh, Alice together with Eve. Alright. That's a spicy pickup, and that already is telling me that Metal Black have so much explosive composition, and if Big Mistake are not careful enough, they will get punished for that. I feel like those two comps, it's not really like one is reactive and the second one is active. I feel like both of those team comps need to be the first one to pull the trigger, because if it's the other team around, I don't think you are winning those team fights.
I'm really thinking, I think here, maybe they could have won even for a funny jungle for the side of Big Mistake, maybe even theoretically for a Nolan, but I still agree with the Akai pick. It's a safe pick, it's gonna have another stun, but you said Fredrin doesn't have damage. I think I disagree with that. Fredrin, as a Fredrin main, I think he has one of the best execution lines, he has one of the best, hits in the game. He does a ton of damage on his ultimate, he can one-shot some of these heroes from Method Black, he can one-shot Awad, he can one-shot Viral if he's not careful. Fredrin is a really strong hero. Of course, the Pressure Wrath builds up with the passive damage taken. But what will Arch pick? Will he go out for the Granger pick, or will he go out for maybe a XP lane? Yeah, they have to go for the Ruby. But they go for the Xborg to counter the CC again. We have seen Archie on that Xborg in the relegation promotion league. But it didn't go that great. It wasn't that, that good. It was a really bad draft then. But now I think the drafts are still in the favor of Metal Black because of the Hayabusa. He can go and take Dingus down. He can go and maybe try to burst down even Archie's Frag armor. But the big game changer is going to be Mindark. He is going to have to make those big plays. The Eye is going to have to make those big immobilized plays. But Gacha is there. The AOG is there and is going to also be supportive of his team. He's going to get it locked and loaded, and he's going to be jumping and slamming down on whichever team member of Metal Black just maybe tries to follow up through the fight. That's going to be a really good counter. Of course, Silly is going to have the anti-CC immunity for the Kale. He can counter it down. He can purify it away. Same with Mindark's ultimate. The only big counter here is going to be the CC, because he can tie maybe Achi and Silly together, or Shrek and Vlad together. But they really need to protect Bayasa. They need to protect Dingus. Dingus is the top priority.
Well, definitely, he is basically the sole gold laner in those two team comps. Like, there is, of course, Sisi will be the one rocking in the gold lane. Of course, Aki will be the one rocking in the gold lane as well. But like your typical gold laner where you have the carry on your side. So if Big Mistake take this game into like 12 minutes, 14 minutes or something like that, then their team comp should be the winning one, because Biaza should be on the outscaling side. Of course, Yves will be super strong. That's definitely something you need to take into consideration, but your typical like gold lane type carry should be the one making the outscale happen, right? Those two team comps, I must say one thing, and that is, for Big Mistake, if they push all their buttons on their opponents, I feel like through the AoE, they are just winning the fight by that.
I mean, it all depends, because they really have to protect Bayasa. He's the only guy who could push the towers. They need to really protect him. Viral is going to already try out. I believe Viral is Pika, actually, if I'm not mistaken. So he is the captain of the last Method Black squad, but Chen is there to support him down the mid lane. Hawk is going to probably make a really good gameplay, but as I said, they're going to try to support Shrek. He is going to be the biggest help that Big Mistake needs, because he, I believe, is one of the best XP laners, if not the best currently active players. But we're going to see a really big clash in the mid lane soon. Awad is there. He's going to try to maybe contest a Little Wanderer. Silly is not. Vlad is there. Shen is there. They're just ready for a fight. As I said, no contest. Retribution on point by Awad. They're going to go for the Stone Golem. Silly is going to get visioned a little bit, but still Shen is not going to press forward because he knows how punishing Aka can be. In theory, if you're really strong and you're fed as an Aka, you can go for the Warax, which is going to play into your passive, and you're going to do a ton of damage built in already. You're going to have the true damage, you're going to have the passive damage, and you're going to have the damage coming in from your jungle emblem. So that's going to be really helpful. But right now, the top lane is going to be an even Steven Strange. Of course, Xbox is going to win the CC right now before she gets one item. I think he needs to go for the Dreadnought armor against the Hayabusa as well, and it's going to be fine. But Hawk is pressuring down Shrek. Right now, the gold is in favor of Big Mistake. I mean, in Method Black, actually, 300 gold ahead. Almost a kill. Hayabusa is farming a little bit faster. He gets that hammer ready to rock and roll. The mid lane is going to be cleared out by Bayaza. Awad is there. Viral is there. Maybe it's going to go for even for a pick-off.
Well, right now it's just even, Steven, as you have said, it's 0-0, but wait a second, there could be a play happening around the turtle, because Big Mistake are already trying to take it out from the hands of Method Black. Of course, Byro is there with his revolt manipulation. He could try to push them away. Shen making a play happen to get it with a big revolt manipulation, and that steals it away. There is immobilized Akai, who tries to run away. Big heavy spin, he's still alive. Revitalize, keeps him alive longer, but Method Black with the first turtle take.
400 gold ahead. Method Black is gonna take the early game advantage, but it's gonna be closed out soon. Right now, Shrek is still in the advantage on the lane because Hawk used his ultimate. And Archie in the top lane is gonna get a few minor just pressure plays, as I said. Just presence is gonna be enough to maybe force out Mindark away. But Awad is gonna go for an invade on the blue buff, actually. The Hayabusa is gonna be able to steal just the Ugi Shadow kill to just escape, just in case the retribution is on point. He's not gonna use it, however. But Vlad and Siri are gonna go back to a blue that's no longer there. It's like getting to your refrigerator, grabbing a cold drink from there that you placed, and you realize some of your family members took it out and drank it themselves. It's one of the saddest moments, but look at that.
Eki is trying to play it out, but I don't think he realizes 1v2. Ow, maybe he can play it out. He tries to run away. Revolve manipulation is still there, but he is alive. Flickers away, and there is Shen. Tries to go for him. Flicker no more available for Shen. So it looks like Aki will be alive, and there is also Vlad the Impaler already in position. Wait a second, Alice in a 1v2? Possibly? No, it's just a can't happening on bot side.
I believe he cannot kill the Alice right now. She's still so strong, but look at Awad gonna get picked up by Shen.
Yaza trying to play it out. There is CC Immune, Kalia pushing Shreko in the team fight, but I think that's exactly what Shreko wanted. Big combination with the Bravest Fighter into Raging Slash, burst Shen down before he could even flicker.
2 kills in favor of Big Mistake, 300 gold lead. Turtle is up in 20 seconds, 17 seconds right now. Awad is gonna be in the lead of XP, but still, one good fight from Big Mistake before the Turtle, and it's gonna be a big game changer. Awad can get punished, so can Viral. He doesn't have the ultimate, he just got that RWM back, but Shen is gonna have to wait a few seconds. I think he's gonna get it before the Turtle, but still, it's one big mistake coming in from Method Black.
Hawk getting pushed away. He could be looking for a play, but based on the position of the rest of the team, Aki with a 1v3, crazy last insanity, trying to get them low. Aki's still alive, not anymore. About
oh my god, the Landshaker!
Raging Slash combination, Treko. He is still in the thick of it. Unfortunately, gets put down, and there is Hawk that's still alive. 2 for 1. I think that's a trade to take. Unfortunately, the turtle went in the hands of Big Mistake, though.
It's still a 1 kill difference between both of these teams, but I believe Method Black is gonna close the gap soon. Shen is doing a good job at trying to pick up the target, but he has so many CC immune players on the side of the mistake that you can only go for one, and that one that you can go for has Purify available soon. So I think it's really risky as a Kalia to go anywhere near Bayaza, because you're gonna get protected from Silly, he's gonna get protected from Vlad, and Shrek as well is gonna be protecting with the Landshaker, with that Raging Sandstorm, but with the Raging Slashes. But looking at the goal right now, Hayabusa is in the lead, he's gonna go for the Blade of Despair, but Hawk manages to slip away like a snake.
Against Shreko. Shreko doesn't have his flicker. I think Hawk will be fine. And I would go even deeper. I would say that Hawk could be even able to stay in the lane. Right, he's going for a recall actually. Do we have the flying clouds, right? Oh, wait a second, conceal play right happening on the top side, but it won't really result into anything as Hawk is approaching the top side. And it looks like he's giving the farm away to Avad, and he's looking for a play himself in here.
6 minutes in, one of the spiciest games we've seen so far. Lapu Lapu again in the lead, like in the last game, the most damage dealt, 20,000 compared to 18,000 of the Eve. Viral is doing a really good job, but look at Achi. They're gonna try to look and find Mindark. He's gonna escape out of there with a second skill dash. But Chen is gonna look for a pick, and he has that Tsunami Slam ready. Hayabusa in the bottom, he's gonna use the shadows, but the tower is gonna fall down on top. Vlad.
There is the rest, there is Hawk, Vlad the Impaler goes in, big OG for escape actually. And there is Achi in the thick of everyone else. He is still alive because of course his passive keeps him alive. Silly with a heavy spin retreat, but he could be taken away. Not really, he's super tanky. Panda, big Panda man, as Big Mistake will make a cross pump happen as well, because Treko, look at him, he's taking a bottom tower as well.
Mindark is gonna try to punish down Bayaza, but he is gonna be able to escape. Shen had that Tsunami Slam ready to rock and roll, but they are gonna lose a tower in the bot lane. Shrek just made a really good play, but look at Achi. Vraga armor disappeared. Tsunami Slam is not there. Hayabusa missed his shadows. Really good play coming in from Achi, just baiting out so many of the skills from Method Black, but Vlad, the Impaler, is
big play happening, Bravest Feather from Shreko. He goes with a Rage Slash into retreat. Landshaker completely misses everyone and needs to flicker away. He is still alive, dancing around, always gets put down, so he makes enough time for Violer to get put down by the rest of the team. Actually, play coming from Shreko, BKOG unfortunately missing, so that means that Hawk will be fine. But I love what Shreko did. Like, he fumbled the bag, but then he made the best of it. He was dancing around, making it so hard for Viral to finish him off, and that meant that Big Mistake get that kill in retaliation.
What this means is that still Hawk is going to be there to support Awad, Minor is there to support Awad. Achi is back, Shrek is back, but Shrek is forced to go towards the top lane to defend it. The Flying Cloud is going to come in clutch, allowing him to catch up faster. Awad was in the top lane, he was showing Bayaza, Achi, Vlad, and Silly are there to try to take down the turtle objective, and it's going to be taken by Silly. But I think they're going to try to look for a fight. AOG is not available. The Gatokasha is going to try to get poked out, but he's going to heal a little bit from the passive stun. Right now, we're going to look at Vlad recalling. Of course, he needs to play extremely safe. This is going to be a really big game for his team. They really need to qualify. And if they don't qualify, they're going to hear some words from me in the group chat after this that are not really nice. But right now, let's take a quick look at the XP rates. Awad is still ahead of Silly, and it's to be expected. Of course, the jungler, Assad is going to farm faster than a tank jungler. The tank jungler needs to play for a team, not the other way around. But look at Hawk.
Hawk going for a play, but gets stopped in his tracks with combination of Gazdavat, the Impaler, and Silly. So that meant that Hawk had nowhere to fly and make a play happen. Of course, if you look at the XP, Avad is ahead, but what's super important is that it doesn't really matter if Akka is behind, because his heavy spin, it's not really there for damage. It just need to stun them up as they stun up Viral as he gets put down 15 seconds for his on his flicker. So unfortunately, he needs to be careful about his position as Shreko goes for a big play in the backline, and the rest, oh, there's Hawk in the deep depthness of Big Mistake's team. There is Mindark trying to play it out, but he gets put down by Shreko and the rest. What a crazy play coming from Shreko, separating the rest of the team, the backline from the front line, and making enough space for Big Mistake to play this fight out.
Hawk tried to make a play, but it wasn't enough. He was countered by everyone's immunity on Big Mistake's side. I don't know if you noticed, but Akai pinned down Mindark towards the wall on the left, allowing Big Mistake to have a free kill on their supposed marksman. That's the difference between having a marksman on the team and not having one. The CC is a really good pick, but they needed a jungle or something of a mid that has a push that can do a lot of damage. Look at Bayaza. He has so much push, he has so much attack speed. He can melt down most of the members of Team Method Black. The lore is going to be up in 6 seconds, and Big Mistake have the proper pacing. But concealed play coming through. Shen misses by a few centimeters. I was going to use that Oogie Shadow kill. That Mountain Shocker is there, not enough, but still, look at the Lord. He's gonna get bursted on. Hawk is there, Mindark is there, Violer is there, but they don't
Wait a second. Imperial trying to play it down. Mindark get taunted up. There is Hawk. Big immobilized. No, actually going for Xborg. Aki, now his Ferrag armor is gone. Can he play it out? I don't think he can. Still coming, trying to play the rest. Blood the Impaler together with the rest of the squad. Silly unfortunately gets put down. Ahmad gets a kill. He still tries to play it out. There is Hawk coming back into the fight. Blood the Impaler gets put down. It's just Roamer. Can you play it out? I think you can. There's Shreko. Shreko, big Landshaker going for Avad. Now he runs away with Flaker. Mindark is the next target possibly, but no, Avad is actually targeting Shreko. Killing spree for Avad, and he suddenly makes everyone realize that him farming all the time wasn't the wisest choices for him to let him farm like that. I'm just saying.
Awad is so far ahead in the game, it doesn't matter. He's 3 levels out of Silly. Silly couldn't even contest. He got a really good pin, but his team couldn't follow through on that fight. Achi was poked out early, the Frogger armor and that RWM coming in early just bursted down everything. Mindark also just made a ton of poke damage upon Shrek, upon Vlad. Bayaza was doing a really good job of doing damage, but it was still not enough damage to out-sustain the damage coming in from Hawk, the healing coming from Shen, and Mindark's passive healing as well. Awad did use that Oogie Shadow kill to try to contest for a kill. He did not get the execution. His red buff actually got it, but Silly is there. He's going to try to defend the mid lane. Lord is going to march down the bot. Hawk is there. He's going to try to go towards the top. Hayabusa is going to get that tier 1 turret. But right now, looking at the Lord, he's going to be marching down the bot and he's going to be claiming that turret for himself.
Oh, he's indeed one tower for Metal Black. That means is their second. Big Mistake need to defend. It's just Aki. He will probably need to use his last Insanity, not really, because there is Silly coming. Biaza as well. Hawk actually initiates upon Big Mistake members. Oh, but there is Shreko. Shreko coming to join the fight. Not really, he's just like bluffing around. But in the left side, he could be looking to pick off someone. Lord will be taken down, so that means...
that the Lord is gonna be a pretty big play. They already have the enhanced minions coming from the Lord buff, allowing them to take that tier 1 mid turret, allowing the map to be open. But look at Shen!
Wait a second, Shen with a kidnap, but doesn't reconnect because there was Insanity happening. Hawk in the backline, but gets pushed away by Silly. Heavy spin. Eki gets picked away by Avad, which goes for Mega Kill. Shreko picks up Hawk. Big revolve manipulation going for the rest of the members of Metal Black. Avad tries to join in. Shreko, half HP, still trying to play it. AOG, I don't think you can play 2 against 3. As Mindark finishes off Silly. What is going on? Big Mistake not really having the stronger team comp right now.
Just the amount of healing and the amount of tankiness coming from Metal Black is gonna wear down the members of Big Mistake. The poking coming in from Awad. But look at that Shreko.
Shreko picks up Vyro. Vyro gets bursted down because he didn't have his flicker available. Oh, Landshaker, big Landshaker going for Shen, but it's just Shen. Shreko, I think you need to retreat. Vlad the Imperial tries to run away as well, but unfortunately it's just not enough. As Avad goes for backline. He tries to burst down Piazza. Shen goes for big Tsunami Slam. Can he pick him off? He can! Shen is still alive. Immortality is still available on that member of the team. He is still alive. Will be now put into Immortality, but there is Mindark. He will try to save his teammate. Shen is still alive. There is Avad, and there is Silly coming with a big heavy spin going for Mindark, pushing Hawk away. Achi is still alive, trying to dish out some damage as they will make the retreat, but this was such a mistake for the red team.
You could say almost it's a big mistake, but Silly is gonna get slain down by Awad with the Oogie Shadow Kill. Lord is up in 15 seconds. A really big advantage going towards Big Mistake. 71 total damage coming in from Viral, aka Pika, aka the GOAT. But right now we're gonna see Vlad trying to secure down that mid lane, but he's not gonna be able to. Mindark, he's gonna pressure them out of there. That draft coming in from Metal Black was so late game oriented that it didn't even matter. Last Insanity going for Viral.
Going for Viral, he takes him down. There is Saki, he needs to retreat now because Piragor armor is nowhere to be seen. Big Taunt going for Mindark as he gets put down super quickly. Biaza takes that kill, and that suddenly means that Big Mistake could be going. Oh, big AOG coming from Vlad the Imperial. He's trying to stealth for some time for the rest of the team to go into that fight. Shreko with the bravest fighter going in. Can he steal it away? There is Avad still available. He steals it away. Shreko picks up the Lord as he tries to get more Raging Slash going for Hawk. Hawk is still alive, and it's alive so she can jump out. But that means Big Mistake are back in the game.
Big fight coming in from that Gazdavat, just allowing him to open the map. Getting that Hayabusa scared away allowed Shrek to go in and made the Hayabusa panic. The damage is not there, but still, they got that Lord advantage. The Lord's gonna marching down the top lane. Achi is gonna try to support it. Hayabusa is there. He's gonna be able to burst down by himself. The most damage taken. Let's take a quick look at that. Gazdavat in the first place, Lapu in the second place. Third and fourth is going to be CC and the Alice. In the top lane, Awad is gonna get punished down, forcing that heavy spin coming in from Akai. Achi is gonna melt down some of those minions, just trying to get the Lord to charge down to possibly an inhibitor. 15 minutes in, Shreko is gonna be in the mid tower. Chen picks him up.
Big kidnap going for Shreko. Shreko is trying to jump away with the bravest fighter, but he cannot really. Avad picks up Legendary.
4 seconds for the flicker to be available, but it was still not enough time. Shrek got punished like in the books, but let's take a quick look. Silly is gonna clear down the mid lane with the help of Achi. Vlad the Impaler is there, Biaza is there. They just need to look for a fight. They know that Mindark, that Shen use their ultimates, but they know that this Curtain Call is gonna be coming in pretty shortly. Let's take a quick look at the item builds if possible, because I believe that Shen has the Time Lost Crystal, allowing him to go at that extra CDR reduction, but no, he went for the Oracle Athena Immortality to just be able to dive. The Gazdavat went for a pretty solid build, allowing it to be as sustainable as possible against the Eve, and he went, of course, for the Antiquarius / Dominance Eyes to just out-sustain the damage coming from Awad. Shrek went for a pretty basic build. He's gonna go for the Winter Crown actually on the last item. Biaza went for the Wind of Nature just to secure down that extra defense against the Hayabusa, just try to counter him down. But a quick look at Achi's that Silly's build, he went for the Cursed Helmet path. He just went for the Molten Essence to do extra damage to jungle creeps. But on the other side, look at Awad's gold. 14,000 gold in 16 minutes, allowing him to get one of the fastest farms during this entire tournament. He was, I believe, level 15 by 10 minutes, not even. But just that early penetration build allow him to do so much damage to Celia, so much damage to Archie's Raga armor, allowed to burst down even Shrek, one of the tankiest heroes in the meta. Just they're gonna clear a bit of the way. Awad is gonna play some of the shadows to clear and check some of the bushes. The Lord advantage goes to Method Black because of the positioning taken by Hawk. He's already in the triple bush, gonna clear the dead lane. But looking at the top lane, Vlad is there, Silly is there, Bayaz is there. The only member missing is Archie. And he's gonna try to play a little bit behind. He's gonna play for defense. That's the only reason he is staying so far behind. Hawk is gonna go for a pretty close play with Viral. Just closing down the distance between these two of these teams. Vlad is gonna check the bushes. They know they're there by the little eye icon above their head. Shrek is there. He's gonna try to force down a reveal. Hawk is there, just pushing down the blue buff out of comfort, maybe even trying to give it out of Viral. Forced Hawk to teleport away. Out in the top lane is gonna clear the dead lane. Lord Lance has already started. Mindark is gonna poke it down, of course. He's not going to be able to do so much damage because he doesn't have that much lost HP. Hawk is there, Viral is there. Shen is in a really good position on the left mid bush, allowing them to catch anyone rotating towards the top or from the bot side. Bayaza, Silly,
Striker goes for base, the combination goes for Viral. Viral needs to flicker away, so that means flicker burn successfully. There is Shen and Evad coming from the front, backline. Oh, and he needs to put that last Insanity to work. He tries to jump away. Last Insanity will be popped, so that means Aki can be bursted down. There is Hawk in the thick of everyone else, and Mindar tries to play it out. Evad go for Bayaza, legendary Evad. He wasn't even repelled by the items that were put onto Biaza. Double kill goes for Hawk as they go for more. Aki gets into 1v1 against Shen, but he cannot really play it out. Oh, that means that Aki will be taken down, and the only member on the map is Shreko, who is trying to buy some time.
Shrek is going to go defend the top lane 20 seconds before both of the members from Big Mistake are coming, before Silly is back and before Bayaza is back. Just allowing them to have an extra help on defense. 18 minutes in the game. We said the last game was a little bit too short. Now this one is a little bit longer. Viral is there, Hawk is there, just zoning out the enemies. The push is already not showing, but Awad gets that largely Shrek.
Doesn't really mean that much because Shreko is the only member alive. He's still alive. He has his ultimate available. He needs to use the Raging Slash. Actually, it's just enough. He successfully defended.
Really good base defense coming in through, but the Lord is gonna start marching down in a few seconds. He is gonna be charging on that bot lane, allowing the team's members of Met Black to maybe even force down top or middle. Just the rotation from a assassin jungler, from a tank jungler shows, because he can split push. The Hayabusa can split push. The Akai, not really. You can be seen you're really heavy or really slow, and you're gonna be just so far behind on farm as well. But I believe gold doesn't matter. Both of the members, both teams have their members built up, ready to rock and roll. Mindark is there. Hawk is gonna try to go for a big play. 3 members, they're not gonna commit fully. Lord is already in the presence of the base, in the inhibitor that was supposed to be there. But look at Awad, he's looking for Bayaza. He is looking for his prime time target.
Yeah, he's going to play a Chen with a big kidnap, going for the backline. There is Hawk in the thick of it, going for the healing. Oh, he is right there, vital with manipulation, but Mindar goes down. AOG knocks everyone up. There is Avat. Avat is still alive, but he needs to retreat now. Still all members of Big Mistake are alive. Not anymore, because Vlad the Imperial gets put down, but they can defend the base. The base is still alive. Biaza is still alive, but he is not no more, because Viral puts him down, but he doesn't have his flicker available, so that means Shreko can go for him. Prince Fighter already popped, but Laneshaker unfortunately misses. There is chance too with immortality available. Shreko will try to play it. Big Laneshaker going for Shen. Can he get more? Can he get the base defend? Oh, last Insanity going from Xborg. Xborg is trying to put some damage in. Hawk goes into immortality pop. She tries to finish. Avad tries to finish off Archie, but Shreko trying to defend the base. Avad tries to go for the base. Half of the base is still available. Laneshaker goes from Shreko. Raging Slash, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough, man. What an end, what a game, oh my lord, what it was.
What an intense game coming from both sides. It was a back and forth game like game number 1. It made me stress out, but both of the teams did an amazing job. Of course, the better draft won, the better players won, and I believe Method Black did indeed at the end of the day make it work. The draft didn't have a marksman, but still at the end of the day they had enough push because of the Hayabusa just being able to split push the side lanes. But man, oh man, what a long and extremely good game.
Well, unfortunately for your heart, possibly your dearest team goes into the loser bracket, but they still have a fighting chance because this game wasn't close at all. Or I mean, it was really close. That's what I wanted to say. I wouldn't dare to say it wasn't close at all. It was Definitely close a lot. Unfortunately, Avat, if I would kind of analyze a little bit and try to walk us through what really went wrong, it felt like Avat kind of sprinted away with the game, and Beaza had nothing, had no tools in his disposal, and the rest of the team had no tools in their disposal to kind of defend him from Avat, because Avat, he was just all the time on top of him, bursting him down, either going for him or going for Aki, even though Aki had some armor. After he gets his Firaga armor popped, together with that malefic roar on Avat, of course he will burst through that armor anyway, so Aki was free for the taking. And Beaza, in the end, he had the Wind of Nature, but it just wasn't enough. Maybe if Silly just stood on top of him and kept heavy spin to try to defend him from Avat, I don't know if that would be the right call, because he was also needed in the team fight. It was rough, but definitely there should have been someone protecting Beaza, because I feel like in the fights, correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like Beaza was left alone to fend for himself.
I mean, the team combo, that big mistake was to target the mid lane of Method Black and the gold lane, which was Minder. The heavy spins were coming in through from Silly. They were pinning down the correct targets. Archie was doing a ton of damage. Shrek was doing damage. The only member who underplayed, I think it was Vlad. He made a really good play with the help of Shrek. But if he was a little bit playing a little bit slower, just to try to, as you said, protect down Beaza, it would have been a different game, I believe. And I think that's the big mistake that they made, just allowing Awa to get close to the Kimi. And I think, of course, Awad can burst on most members of Big Mistake. Of course, Archie was the first target that was always going in, just baiting down some skills with a Farag armor, because you have basically 4 health bars on that hero. You get the immortality, you're gonna get burst down, you're gonna revive, you're gonna get your passive, you're gonna get your other health back. There's so much you can do, but not enough damage coming from Big Mistake. The Lapu Lapu was doing a ton, but Beaza couldn't really get close. Hawk was there, Shen was there, Mindrak was there, Viral was poking out. He was sustaining so much damage in the middle of their actual Nexus base. Let's take a quick look at the highlights, because this game was so intense.
Well, absolutely, especially since the start, the first turtle fight, Avad was able to still evade the turtle, and I think that really paints the picture of the game, because if you just saw this one play, you basically know what happened in the rest, because Avad was definitely the MVP for Metal Black, and he was truly the man that carried the team. Not saying that the rest of Metal Black didn't play the way they were supposed to, but Avad was just up there. He was doing his job phenomenally. I was a little bit worried in the part of the game where it was like 14-minute mark and he was full build maximum level, and he wasn't really doing anything because there were no towers for the take-in. He couldn't take enemy jungle because it was dead, and he had like nothing to do, and the rest of Big Mistake was just farming up, and I felt like, alright, Avad, he has nowhere to go anymore, he cannot scale up, this is the end probably. He will slowly start to fall off, but he was able to squeeze out in the last moments before before the rest of Big Mistake were on full items. He was able to squeeze out that damage anyway. He was picking up the right targets, and whoa, Avad, what a show. Great Hayabusa. Always love to see myself great Hayabusa. We saw many great Hayabusas here on Church, but he is definitely up there with his performance.
I mean, Awad is an MPL meta player, so you can already see. So is Shen. Both of these guys are MPL players, so there's a big difference between casual and professional players. Big Mistake, semi-professional. Method Black, 2 members, professional. You can tell already by the gameplay, by the discipline coming in from the jungle. Just not going overextending. He didn't die, I believe, once on that Hayabusa. Maybe he died once, he got punished one time, but still, it was enough for Method Black to hold it in, hold it down, hold on the Fortilios back. Shrek was doing some good plays, but I mean, you cannot do so much because you're gonna lack. Of course, maybe if you had a different goal lane, something to help sustain the damage in the fight, because you had already 3 tanks. Technically, you have the Akka, you have the Lapu Lapu, you have the Galakacha, 3 tanks. You put Lapu Lapu, that's 4 tanks, only 1 damage dealer. Of course, you can say that yes, Xborg does a ton of true damage because of his new recent changes, but still, that was not enough. But let's think about this Lord still. Really good play coming in from Shrek. He got that Land Shaker perfect. But still, they couldn't take advantage of this Lord. Awad was there, he melted down that Lord. They only got 1 inhibitor tower, I believe, not even half HP. But here, a quick look at what that Eve is doing. Get that RWN, catching most member of Big Mistake there, applying so much anti-heal, applying slowdown, and then going in. Not one bit of fear. The flicker was available. He was just trying to go for those 2 low HP targets. Archie was there. Sealy was there. And look at that. he was sustaining so much damage. You couldn't burst down the, even if you wanted to. And that was a big land shaker missed by Shrek. He could have maybe even saved down Silly to change the outcome of the game. Because if they shut down Awad, if they shut down Hawk, it would have been a game-changing play coming in.
Oh, absolutely, but what has to be said is what I was fearful about already in the draft, and that was something we kind of disagreed upon, but I feel like maybe after the game concluded you might be on board with me. I just felt like there is so much work to be done for Biaza, because he was basically the sole damage dealer. Like, of course, Xborg, as we have said, Lapu will deal damage as well, but there was like no late game damage security, where for the opposing team there was Amat going for those carries, and only carry he definitely needed to go for was Biaza. If he got Biaza even out of the fight, he didn't even need to kill him. Just like Yugi Shadow kill, half or like 3/4 of the HP gone. That's it. That's your job done, and the rest will be able to play out according to plan, because the rest of the team will deal with the rest of the opposing team, and it's fine. So maybe that's something that you are kind of rethinking now, or are you still on board that like there was enough damage, but you feel like it came down to team decisions?
I mean, it also came down to team decision, because they could have... I mean, Shrek targeted the wrong enemy in that last fight for the base. He targeted Shen by mistake. I think he was trying to aim for the lead, but he targeted Shen. I mean, the auto-target probably screwed him up a little. But they did like a little bit of damage. I think the Lapu Lapu was enough if he maybe went for the penetration build as well. If he got that Fury Hammer on top of the War Axe, to just get extra penetration, or maybe Sission, maybe that Alice, because Alice was so tanky you couldn't kill her. But I mean, we had some very exciting games, but we're gonna take a little break to get our, to catch a little bit of our breath, to take some water. You guys get some snacks, get something to drink, and make sure you come check us out in 10 minutes.
Hello and welcome back. Of course, today's host is me, Warren1x, together with Zakota. We are joining you after a short break of 10 minutes. Hope you were able to get some water, some snacks or something like that and refresh yourself because, those 3 games were kinda rough, at least on our part. Not in a sense that it wasn't lovely to watch, because it was definitely a blast to be watching those, as we'll be watching how the bracket unravels. We see Azure, Carpe Diem going through actually, so that will be match number 60. Hack against Boards Gaming, Hack going through, and we can have a little bit of a glimpse down there as well, right? Yeah, Carpe Diem will be against Wreck Pulse, so that means that Misa Sports against Hack. All right, whoever beats the other one will be going through, will be matching their opponents in the later stages. Well, what can you tell me about what we are seeing, Zakota?
Some of the teams I was expecting them to go for, or some I was not expecting. Misa Esports has one kind of, you could say, star player, but a quick look at the top brackets: Loyal Sword, former French runner-ups champions against Method Black. We have seen the game. What an amazing game coming in from Big Mistakes and Method Black. A lot of praises there for both of these teams. Only one original member left on the team of Method Black. Only Pika, the leader, was available. Honor, the Georgian team, went up against the first team we saw reaching as Lashini. They had, I believe, a pretty hard time because we saw how strong the team was. I mean, M7 is a really strong team, but Messageship won against Divine Bloodline, and they ended up winning that, and they're gonna have to duel it out with Honor.
Indeed. So that means that a lot of the teams are already very deep into the upper bracket part. Of course, that doesn't mean that we are getting to our BO3s yet, just that we are a little bit deeper than we were in the beginning. I would love us to go over the loser bracket as well, if that would be possible. If we kind of like can go over that part to see who is already definitely out of the tournament, because I think some of the teams could possibly be already out.
I mean, I believe some of the strongest ones are gonna be still fighting for the last chance. Of course, this is gonna promote you to the big tournament, the big leagues. As I like to say, it's of course double elimination. So if you lose in the top bracket, you lose in the bottom brackets, you're out completely. Not one more chance for you. What if you're an invited team, however? Maybe that you're gonna be your luck. If you're good enough, you're gonna make a big enough statement outside of the tournament. Maybe you're gonna be number 1. Maybe you're gonna be beating some of these teams in other tournaments. Who knows? But make sure we're always keeping a vengeful eye, a watchful eye upon you. We're gonna see if you guys play good. But another thing, make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys like, make sure you join the Discord, because we're always gonna do giveaways. Warren, I believe you didn't win a giveaway yet.
Well, I'm leaving it to our viewers. You know, I shouldn't be stealing out of your pockets, because I am possibly can get some under the table diamonds over from Nish. I think I can like have a deal with him, something like that. You know, like hop onto you know, like you when you are on a train station and there's like these guys in big black coats and they give you diamonds. So I will get some this way possibly. Well, looking at the map log, is broken walls, so that means that no more walls to hide behind. So that means possibly Link wouldn't have the bestest time, but other than that, probably no one will be playing Link. So I don't think that's something we should be expecting. We have Jackpots 2 against Lacarters, Synchro, Sarbumatsu, Onoki, Sankai, Beru against Kobo, Carter, Eoni, Merle Dixon, Hydra, and Draenex Door. Bakshiaban, Grogban, big tough guys already being banned out. So what story is that telling us?
It's already telling a story that this is a match from the lower brackets. The first lower bracket match we're going to see today. It's going to be a last chance for either of these teams. Who is going to survive? Who is going to go under? Jackpots versus Lacarters. We're going to see Lacartes? Is it Spanish or is it French? It seems like both at the same time. What if it's a city actually? Like Craters, you know? There's enough of the joking now. We're going to see the Baksha, as you said, banned out of the tournament. We're going to see the Grok. I have played with most people. I was actually a bit on a squad with people on the left side with Synchro, with Matsu, with Beru. And with Onoki as well, I was in a squad. And I can tell you, Beru is a really good Granger and a really decent Moscow, but I believe that's it. Synchro is a really strong mage player. Starboy Matsu has really good cows on the roaming position, but he's underwhelming sometimes. If the game starts off easy, he's gonna let go of that pressure that he's building. Onoki is a solid XP. He was an XP laner for Void Kids, if I remember correctly. And for Sunkai, I cannot say much because I haven't seen him play that much, so I can't say. But Lance is gonna go out the door as well. What's gonna follow through? I believe the Kalea is a correct call, maybe even the Kimi.
So right now CC will be banned out, so that's then a story that XP laners can kind of rest well, sleep well, because CC will not be harassing them anymore on that XP. So that means Lacarters probably go in for, like, either they want their XP laner to have a really nice time, or they are going for something that kind of builds up later into the game. I'm thinking, are they going for Elise? Because if CC is on the board, wouldn't Elise suffer from that?
I mean, it depends. Alice is good. All type of draft doesn't matter. But right now, I think we're gonna see Destruction getting banned out, and I believe I'm predicting Galea has to go out, or maybe even Isun Shin, because they're already banning the Lance. They're already hinting towards some of these dangerous picks. Maybe even a Fredder needs to go out the door, because I don't know what Lacart plays or what. Because I don't know. Maybe only one member I know, Dre. I play with Dre a little bit. But the rest people from that team, I have no clue, honestly, about. But who knows, maybe they're going to surprise me. Maybe there are going to be some new talents.
So ready for the side of Jackpots, and the bands are telling me a story that they are possibly going for someone that's a little bit on the weaker side in the mid lane, like in the early phases, because if you ban Juxin, that's telling me that you kind of looking for something to scale up with. I'm thinking like you are possibly going for Eve. Alright, Eve has been banned out from Lacarters, so pretty smart choice actually coming from them. So now maybe Kimi? Oh no, it's Lapu actually.
Solid pick. The Yisun is still left upon the table. The Fredder is still on the table. I think they need to ban out for the Golem, or they need to pick out for the Golem next, because Beru, if he gets at hand, he was #1 global Granger when I played with him, so I know he has a really good hand with him. He can play him, you know, to his best extent. He knows how to farm. He knows how to position himself with him. Because I believe after, even if global isn't as important and is nowadays, I think still it's a way to learn the hero. You're gonna get the global rank, you're gonna learn position because you play him so much. You're gonna learn what works, what doesn't work versus him. You're gonna have a better idea of how to play those heroes specifically. But right now, I think they need to pick out the Yisun Shin and possibly even the Kalea for Lacarters.
But right now, I would even call for like Jisun Shin together with Gato, because we already see that being super strong combination. I think every time we saw it, it won. Wait, am I saying it wrong or am I saying it right? I feel like every time we saw this combo, it won. I think first game right, second game, third game we didn't see it, and now fourth game possibly could be winning out again. I feel like the combination of those two is pretty strong, pretty solid. Of course, the combo of AOG together put into combination with ultimate of Jisun Shin can be pretty deadly. Of course, Gato making so much space for Jisun Shin, so he can just dip, dive, and dodge, do so much damage. But right now they are really thinking it through, and it will indeed be Gato, but with Arlott.
Gato Arlott is already gives the stage to maybe Frederick pick and allowing them to go for a really squishy gold and a really squishy mid. Just some glass cannon type of heroes, because with Arlott you can get your skill to reset every time there is a stun, and with Frederick you get so many stuns, you can catch get a stun, a taunt. You know, there are so many possibilities, and of course you can stun lock them with a kit of Frederick. Skill 2, skill 3, skill 2, skill 3, repeat, and they're gonna be stun locked forever. Of course, you're gonna do damage, and of course, you're gonna have the Praiser's Wrath. So I think either Jackpots picks up the Fredder and they ban it out. Starboy Matsu maybe is gonna go for a Matilda pick and with a Fredderin, as I believe Sankai is the jungler. But it's gonna be the Hayabusa Hylos, a denier pick for. I mean, I don't know about the Hylos, because Hylos is good into Hayabusa, but he's not good into Gazdavat.
That's also something I wanted to point out. Also, Lacarters still in a way the Granger now. So that's maybe something that you could have went for actually if you like went Lapu, Granger and Hayabusa. Of course, it would be a little bit on the squishier part, but I'm feeling like there are still many roam options that are open for you. Kalia is still open. Hylos would be possibly open. Of course, they could ban him, but At the same time, they are possibly thinking about your mid lane as well, which right now they are. And well, both of the teams are actually shooting for the mid laners. That's kind of funny. I think Jackpots are not really being smart about that draft, because if they shoot into the mid lane pool as well, that means that Lacarters can realize that and just go for mid laner of their own, and then there will be no more good mid laners left for Jackpots.
Indeed, they are banning out the Lunox. They're banning out, 3 bans on the majority coming in from Jackpots. A Moscow ban, as I said, one of the best picks from Barrow is the Granger, the Moscow. The Irritate is okay, but I don't think it's that great. Of course, the King mid, the Eve is banned out. Already 5 mages out of the picture. What is Jackpots gonna pick on the mid? The Zetian? I believe Synchro is a really great Zetian player. But what is Lacarters gonna go? They have the pick, they have the deciding factor. What is the mid lane that they're gonna go for? The Eve is banned, the Farsa is banned, the Kimi is banned, the Juxin, Lunox is banned as well. Are they gonna go for the jungler, deny maybe some of the picks from Jackpots, or are they gonna leave it last, a hidden pick, to catch the mid laner by surprise, to catch the goal laner by surprise of Jackpots? Because if you got the Fredrin right now, it's expected. You're expected to go for that. They're gonna go for a burst down, maybe even a 1-on here, to kite down the Gatukarda and the Arlot. You're gonna have a really hard time laning against Dre, but they're gonna go for the Kadita. But it is the broken walls, not the, bushes map.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing to consider. So you are so much more mobile, you can try to run away from her much more easy. Like, there is so much less narrow corridors that you cannot get out of, since there are those broken walls indeed. So I don't know how I feel about Kadita. I was for a couple of minutes, no couple of minutes, but like a couple of seconds, I was thinking the Jackpots fumbled the bag by banning mid lane when they are not the first ones to pick it up. But it looks like it kind of confused the heads of Lacarters so much, to such an extent, that they went for Kadita, which I don't feel like is the best option. Like, typically, she's very good at bursting down squishy targets. Of course, now it's Vexana, now it's Claude, so you can burst those targets together with Hayabusa, but you didn't know who they will go for. So, I don't know how I felt about it. Of course, they can now have completely free reign over the jungle, and it will be indeed Fanny.
Ooh, the Fanny. Okay, I like that, but okay, it's good because they don't have much crowd control. The only crowd control that could really completely shut down the Fanny is the Vexana if she catches her with the taunt. I mean, with the scared away. I forgot what it's called.
The fear, right?
The fear, exactly, the fear. Yeah, they're gonna have also, the ultimate from Vexana and also the stun coming in from Hylos. But I believe that Meredith Dixon is gonna have a pretty free game here. He has to go for the specific target. He has to go for Barry. He has to go for Onoki. These people need to be punished, as well as the Hayabusa. You could actually invade him.
Wait, I know what's going on actually. I know what's going on, Zakota. Do you see the skin that Synchro is running? He got the skin, he wanted to show off, so that's why he wanted to go for Vexana. He banned all the mid laners that would make
Cowboy Carter!
Oh, what the hell? What happened there? Why did Sankai go for the tower dive? He's immediately getting picked off. This tower destroyed him. I think there is holes in him like in cheese.
I mean, looking at the fight right now, Cowboy Matsu, Cowboy Carter is gonna escape the hands of Starboy Matsu, but look at that, Hylo's gonna get punished down.
Oh, he gets taunted up and he gets picked off. Marlo Dixon with a first kill for himself. And if you compare it, now you have 2 kills on Lacarters. One from Marlo Dixon, one from Cowboy Carter.
Frankie.
It's such a rough state. Sankai running away from his own jungle, and this is suddenly not looking the best.
Synchros their barrels there, they're gonna try to poke down Merle Dixon, but looking at that, the Beamy Eye is gonna be placed in the bush to just reveal Merle Dixon, but the Hayabusa is gonna be another free target for the Fanny. He doesn't have his shadows available in a few seconds, but look at that, he's just evading it completely correctly. Starboy Matsu is gonna stand down and catch that Fanny, just bursting him down below half HP. The stun coming in from the Kalita doesn't hit anyone. Synchro is there. Big taunt.
But Cowboy Carter is nowhere, like, he was there, but he cannot really do anything further to further this action that was happening from Hydra. And right now Jackpots are jumping around, like dancing around. Oh, wait a second, with a face check, Hydra could be in trouble, but Onoki of course doesn't want to burn the bravest fighter on this target. But they look like they want to fight, and I don't know if that's the best idea.
The Revitalize is available for Hydra. He only got his level 4 already. And almost with that Petrify, Aonoki made it out safely. The second skill dash just having completed. Marley Dixon is there. Big!
There is Ioni with big flicker final slash play going initiating this fight completely. Synchro goes down, Starwood Matsu is as well down, and it's just Onoki. Onoki with that land shaker tries to go for Hydra, but gets airborne. Oh, Hydra is actually getting picked off, and the more are dead as well. Ioni actually double kill for Sankai. Mero Dixon is down as well, and Sankai will probably be finishing off this turtle. He doesn't have retribution, so that means that Cowboy Carter can steal it away. The thing is, does he know? And he cannot steal it away. Sankai with a secure.
What a great fight coming in from Jackpots. They already made a really nice play. Synchro just putting down that big garden, allowing him to do damage even when he's dead. Just bursting them down because they were fighting in such close quarter. Merle Dixon and Hydro could not sustain it. Of course, a really big final slash coming in from the Arlo, just stunning 2 members of Team Jackpot, but he did the combo wrong. He didn't stun. He went to dash in afterwards and he couldn't catch them afterwards. You always have to land that skill 1 from Arlo just to stun them an extra second, because the further away they are from you, the further and the longer the stun is. I mean, looking at Onoki, he made a really good play. He dodged the Petrify coming in from Cowboy Carter, just baiting it out completely. That was, again, a pretty bad play coming in from Lacarters, but Lacarters, I mean, still, Cowboy Carter, Lacarters. So I think that's the big idea about it.
Possibly could be named under his name. Drenny will be finishing his armor shoes. Ioni just kind of dancing around Starboy Matsu. But that means he is not getting farm in the top side. And that means he now has to catch it. Oh, he will let it burn. Those minions are dying out. And Onoki is first in mid lane with that level advantage.
Looking at the bot lane, Barrow forced to use his BMI.
AOG, go in, CC immune, not Petrify, Purify. So Barrow is alive.
Hydra also used that Revitalize for no apparent reason. Sniper Matsu is in a very good position. He has the Revitalize already. Barrow is there. He does not have his Blazing Duet available, but Dixion is there. Dre next door is going to be trying to clear out that minion wave right there. Cowboy Carter in the mid lane.
There's a play happening in the mid lane, but I think we kind of weren't in time.
Synchro.
There's Mero Dixon trying to play it out, going for Synchro. Synchro should be fine. He just revitalize, heals himself up. And Dre next door will be completely fine as well. But the pressure Jackpots are putting on the map. The gold has been swinging their way as new turtle will be spawning onto the map.
Looking at the match, in that fight, Sankai did use his Uki Shadow kill and he didn't get 1 kill. Star Matsu, Onoki, Synchro, and Sankai are there. Ioni is there. He's gonna get picked off, terrified as well.
He's gonna
stay for so long.
Oh, he's still alive. He plays it out. Big flicker play coming from him. Starry gets put down. Onoki is the next target. Bravest Fighter flickers away. He is still alive. Can they chase him down? Hydra is here. Terrified. Big Line Shaker. Onoki still alive. Dancing around. Gets this shield pickup from the passive. Synchro is there. Mero Dixon gets baited into it. Sankai finishes him off with a killing spree as Barrow goes for Cowboy Carter.
Lacarters are doing an amazing job. They did get that fight. Big play coming from Deone. The Arlot was sustaining so much damage. He was dashing left and right and left and right. Then he dashed on the Golem and made it out alive. In the top lane, Onoki is going to punish down Ioni.
1v1 against Ioni. Onoki has still Land Shaker available. He goes for Ioni. The jump happened there, but it's Ioni is trying to play it out. Actually, Final Slash doesn't quite connect, so Onoki picks him off.
No Final Slash available till the last second. The damage coming from the Lapu Lapu. I believe he went already for the Warax. He is level 9. He is the second or third highest level in the entire game. I believe he was level 9 before every single jungler. The Carters are doing a good job. Right now, he actually picks up the Warax. I believe he had maybe the Fury Hammer available, but Dixon is going to try to stun down and melt down Onoki, but still, that Lapu Lapu is so tanky. The Raging Slasher doing an amazing job. Hydra is there on the bot lane. Triple Bush, just revealing it completely. Beru has the BMI ready to go. The Blazing Duet as well. Dre next door really needs to start thinking about the gangs that are possibly coming towards him. Sankai is gonna get that.
They're trying to play it out. He's bursting down Drain. And Yugi Shadow Kill just barely isn't enough.
Enough to almost burst him down if he had that red buff available. But look at Beru. BMI was used. Synchro is there. He's going to catch down both members of Team Lacarters. Just terrifying, both of them. I mean, Merle Dixon really needs to play for the split. Right now, he's just farming, but he's not farming the minion waves, which he is supposed to do. As a fan, you have the best rotation in the game. You have the fast rotation. You have the best wave clear possible because you can do 2 skill 2s, you know, get that steel cable going, get that cutthroat as well on maybe even a jungle creep to farm a little bit faster because the cooldowns are really low on a Fanny. As a hero, you need to farm a lot. she is an explosive hero. You need to go for fights, you need to go for farming as well. You need to completely balance it out like a yin yang energy. That's why Fanny is picked extremely rarely on MPL because, or even in properly in general, even in Europe, it has to matter on the team and it has to matter on the player. If they're confident with Fanny, it matters a lot. But still, Fanny is so risky because you can go for a really big taunt fight.
Stones, good for Noki, big CC coming his way, Petrify, he couldn't even reuse the bravest fighter, now Synchro is the next target, Aoni finishes him off, and Starboy Matsu is next on chopping block, they go for him, but Glorious Pathway will keep him alive, as Lacarters are trying to finish the turtle off, but Sanka is there, he has to say something about that, Yugi Shirokyo, he tries to play it out, but I don't think he can, Merodixon finishes off the turtle, as second turtle of, third turtle of the game will go into the hands of Lacarters, but in the meantime, Barrow is taking the top side.
And slash as well.
Oh, Starboy Matsu gets put down.
Sankai is there, the retribution is there, but look at Marlon Dixon, he's gonna do so much damage to still cable. That's what I'm talking about. Cowboy Carter!
Synchro got destroyed. Cowboy Carter with so much damage, but there's Beru with his ultimate popping. Goes for Cowboy Carter. Cowboy Carter is still alive. He repositions back
next door.
there. Onoki 1v5 can be played. The Raging Slash is no more available. He jumps away. Ultimate is gone. Now he cannot play.
Onoki
tries to run away, but he is just dead. Aoni picks up another kill in retaliation, and suddenly 4,000 gold for Lacarters.
The map is already so open. Think of the mid lane term, allowing the Fnatic to even go for possible events on Sankai. That's why the mid lane is so important. And in the last game, the big mistake was Metal Black, that mid tower stood up for so long before it was burst down with the enhanced Lord minions. But looking at the game right now, it was a priority for Lacarters. They just were going for a good fight. Onoki was punished down. Eon is going to try to catch someone in the bush, maybe a Natalia. But looking at the map right now, Mary Dixon is completely denying the push coming in from bot lane. Jackpots 2 made almost a big mishap.
Onoki, OG, big down, going for the backline. Synchro gets put down, next killing spree for Inoni. And now Onoki has nothing to do really, because his mid lane is already gone. 1v1 Sankai against Cowboy Carter. Cowboy Carter needed to use the Petrify, so next lord that will be spawning. Cowboy will not have it.
Cowboy Carter will not have anything, but look at Merle Dixon, he's getting poked out a lot. Blazing Jet was used, BMI was also used, Hydra is there, he's gonna try to catch down Beru.
Glorious Pathway from Starboy, but he gets put back by Final Slash, but it's just Hylos. He is completely fine and he runs away.
Looking at the map right now, the presence coming in from the Final, she's gonna go to her red buff. Right now we're gonna see Ioni denying all the creeps of Sankai. He's only one level behind, it's a really small gap, the retribution is gonna matter a lot. The fight before the Lord is going to be what matters. Onoki and Starboy are doing an amazing job, just sustaining the damage coming through from Lacarters. But right now, Merle Dixon is in a really good bush spot. Sankai is going to go unannounced, burst it down with the control.
One shot on Sankai, so that means the Lord is free for the taking, because Sankai is nowhere to be seen. Retribution not available for Jackpots too. So that means Lacarters will have this Lord for free.
See Halbert picked up by Merle Dixon, just giving that extra damage against those tanky targets. Cowboy Carter has his Petrify, has every skill ready. Starboy is in a pretty good position right now, but they cannot go for a fight. They have to go for a fight in the Lord March. The Lord has to march down. They have to know where it's going, and then they can contest for a fight. Of course, the Lord is going to go down the top lane, because the top lane has the weakest lane. Finally, Wishing Lantern bought up by Synchro, Queen Wing spot up by Onoki, allowing him to get that extra damage and that extra sustainability on the Lapu Lapu. Ioni is over there. The BMI is ready in the hands of Beru. Not much you can do. Starboy Matsu.
OG going for the initiation. Starboy Matsu getting touted up. There is Petrify happening. Not really, because there is the fear going for Ioni. Ioni tries to play it out.
Merle Dixon
just really saves everyone from Jackpots. And there's Merle Dixon in the backline. Shut down. Goes for Synchro. But Merle Dixon now he has to run away. Dre next door tries to push them further into their base. Doesn't really do that much. 1-for-1.
Really good trading in from Jackpots number 2. They did an amazing job at defending the base. They only lost Bear because Fanny was so crazy. She was doing so many cables in that bot tier fight. The Lord is gonna march on the top. It's going to charge and take the turret. 1/4 of its HP down. But however, Starboy Matsu is there. Synchro was there. Just enough damage to burst him down. But Cowboy Carter is in a primo positioning. As a Kadita, you really need to play the push. You need to play the advantage. Synchro doesn't know you're there. And Starboy Matsu doesn't know you're there. Marlon Dixon is gonna get poked out. Big stun coming in. The Terrify misses.
Dixon going for Starboy Matsu, just dancing around. There is Kadita going for that initiation, but not really happening. Dre next door is getting bursted. Oh, there was the nature. It was just popped at the last second, so he survived. Dre next door is alive by a quiver of his health.
Hydra did fall down. He got baited out by the Kadita. Kadita did not commit with that, a rough wave. allowing him to sustain a little bit more of the damage. But Hydra went in, the Revital was not there. But look at Beru, he's gonna get bursted down by Merlin Dixon.
I would love to see items because I firmly believe that Dre either has like Rose Gold Meteor or it was Wind of Nature indeed, because that last burst coming from Haya should have bursted him down. On Noki now in 1v2, Final Slash unfortunately misses, but luckily for Lacarters, or not luckily for Lacarters, luckily for Jackpots too. But right now it doesn't really look like they are 6,000 behind because they are still able to play, they still have their teeth to bite with.
And right now, looking at the advantage, it's 6,000 gold for the red team, one Lord. And I mean, Jackpots got what? It's 2 Lords, I think, for LA Carters. They got one in the top lane and one more now, no? From I think of last game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think they only have one.
No, I think it was maybe one charged on the top lane and now one more.
Wait, maybe you are right. Yeah, maybe it's showing wrong. Yeah, maybe.
I think we're maybe. What if we're just tweaking? But look at Cybermatsu gets picked out, and it's going to be a pretty good play. No, actually, I'm wrong. I'm actually wrong. I did a mistake. It's gonna be really funny for the production to hear this after. But look at the Lord is gonna get bursted down. One Lord actually taken. If Hydra is there, Dre next door is gonna be bursting. The Lord Merlin Dixon is there as well. Cowboy Carter is going to do some big damage towards that Lord take. It was bursted down almost instantly. Immortality finally picked up by Hydra. And we're gonna see the Arrow marching down the top lane. A pretty nice niche thing, but they're clearing the waves, I think, a little bit too early. No one is in the lane. The final should go towards the top. Clear the lane.
OG ultimate, pushing everyone away. I think you just take the tower. No, you go for more Melixon in the backline. He still has his immortality available. He only has to flicker away. He's still alive, dancing around, dipping around, diving around. But next door, Dre next door has to flicker away. Beru goes for him. It's 1v1 with gold laners. There is Aeone in the thick of it. Hydra is still alive. Starbumatsu gets put down. Aeone as well. And the rest of Lacarters need to run away because Senkai could go for them.
I mean, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Aeone fell and Starbumatsu fell, but it was a pretty good base defense. Rough Waves didn't do anything to neither of the members. Synchro was forced out. He was baited out to flicker away from the Fanny, and that just made the Fanny commit a little bit more than she needed to. But right now, the Lord is still healthy. It's still full HP. Onoki is there. Hydra is there. Dre next door is there. But look at Beru. He's going to burst down the Trinity build on that Lord. The Blazing Duet is not there, but the BMI is there. Dre finally picks up his immortality. Hydra is gonna try to kite out that blue buff for Dre to just go that extra stack. But look at Ogishakill! Still not enough.
Close, but doesn't jump with Merlin Dixon. Beru finally with that Wind of Nature, so that means if Merlin Dixon goes for him, he needs to be super careful about that usage, because Beru can suddenly become very tanky for like 2 seconds and no damage will go through. Of course, Cowboy Carter can still burst him down, but he is the sole magic damage dealer in the composition of Lacarters, so that's need to be taken into consideration. Of course, for the side of Jackpots is also just Sync Pro, but low-key some magic damage on Starboy Matsu. 70 seconds for Lord.
On the second floor, but both of the teams have magic dealing tanks actually. Got to catch at those magic damage. His AOG does magic, his skill 1, skill 2, passive also deal magic damage. Right now, let's take a quick look at the builds. Dominance Ice picked up by Gatatkacha, Radiant Armor as well. The Dreadnought only purchased. He's gonna go for the immortality and it's
There's
gonna
a fight happening in the mid lane. Terrified Hydra goes in. High loss. Goal Spite of Fate. There is Merlin Dixon trying to jump around. CC going for Dre next door into Ione. Ione gets put down. Dre next door into immortality. And it's just 3 members trying to defend. Sankai puts down Hydra. Dre next door gets put down as well. And it's just 2. Cowboy Carter together with Merlin Dixon. Can they survive? Can they run away? Big ultimate from Cowboy Carter trying to buy some time. Starbumatsu is still chasing him. There is still the passive available on Hilo, so of course he can still cast. He's still trying to chase. Beru tries to slow him down. Cowboy Carter getting stand up. Cowboy Carter will be probably going down. Goes puffed by big heal from Cowboy Carter. He's still alive. Not anymore. Gets shut down. And Lacarters need to defend their base. It's just Merlin Dixon. 1 against 5. Jumping around. Those steel cables need to really put in the work. Oh, he actually cleared the wave. That's super nice. He tries to go for more. Yeah, he has one mission, one objective in mind. He needs to defend because otherwise they will lose.
3 seconds for Lord and already it's in the hands of Jackpots. The positioning from Synchro and the Lord down. He's already starting. He needs to put down that big Vexana guard to just burst it down. It acts like a Lunox. Right now, Sanka's gonna get a pick off on the Lord. I mean, a little late coming from Eoni, but the damage taken from Gazdavat is completely insane. 130,000 damage. The Lord is gonna be marching down the bot lane. The minions are gonna get clear, but it's still in the favor of Lacarters. The bot lane turret is their strongest turret so far. Actually, no, it changed his mind. It's gonna go down and march down the mid lane. The inhibitor, it's 1/4 of its HP down. Cowboy Carter is there. Hydra's there. Fanny is on the bot lane, waiting for a pick-off, waiting for someone to cross the path and make a really big mistake. But right now, the Lord is marching down. Onoki is on the left mid bush. Right mid bush is gonna get occupied surely by Starboy Matsu. Sanaki is gonna get pushed down.
1v1 Merdixon against Sanaki. Oh, Sankai is winning. He put Merdixon into immortality. Oh, when the round popped, so he survives. As Sankai needs to retreat, and he bought just enough time for his team to defend Lord. Looks like oh no, he cannot really do it. So he counts them up. Killing spree for Beru, and they go for more Onoki in the backline. Started with that Raging Slash into Brave Fighter into Raging Slash. Now has to retreat, and Lacarters will have their base still standing. But that means Jackpots are suddenly in the gold lead. As Merdixon tries to clear the mid wave, and Lacarters need to defend the bot wave alone without this one member, and with without two members actually, because Hydra is dead. Onoki will have his final slash going in. Synchro gets put down before he can even cast anything. Onoki now needs to run away. Starboy Matsu gets put down away as well. Now Raging Slash coming from Onoki. He tries to play it out. Hayabusa going for the Yugi Shadow Kill. Going back. Sanaki is still alive. Onoki going for the tower. Merdixon and just Ioni defending the base.
Not much they can do. The Lord is gonna be spawning in 80 seconds, so it's not a big loss. Hydra is gonna be up in 1 second. Ion is there, Hydra is there, Dixon is there. It's gonna be a 3 versus 3 fight. Both of the teams have 20 seconds till they get their their 4 members up. Both teams need to wait a little bit before they clash. The bunny doesn't have a blue. It was shortly stolen, I believe, by Beru. Immortality finally picked up by Starboy Matsu, just allowing him to have that extra life, that extra healing as well, just in case Starboy Matsu is gonna have to be he's gonna have to engage first. That's what I'm trying to come across it. Sankai needs to go and burst down Drain Next Door or Cowboy Carter. The first time he has to go for an important target. Merle Dixon couldn't burst down. I mean, he messed up the combo. He ran out of energy on the final. He couldn't do the cut short, and the Hayabusa reacted to it. He doesn't have the red retribution, the flame retribution to burst him down insanely fast. A quick look at the builds. Antiquary has Radiant Armor for the family as a defense item. We're going to see the Hylos with the Dominance Eyes pretty late, but he went for the Antique and the Athena, of course. The Vexana went for the first item, Witching Land, their third item, Scorch one. Right now we're going to see the Hayabusa going BOD, second item, Endless Battle into Malefic Roar and a Sea Halberd. Of course, a normal build on the Cloud with the Trinity. Lapu Lapu, however, went for the extra tiny Athena's first item.
Bit of nature on both gold laners, so that's definitely something both assassins on both sides need to keep in mind. As Sankai, as Dixon, as we approach this lore, it looks like Jackpots already starting at 40,000, is already 20,000 down, half HP gone. Hydra and the rest need to start doing something or it will be taken away. Merdixon, can he steal it away? AOG. Sankai finishes it off and the rest of the fight happens. Petrify, final slash, Cowboy Carter still playing it now. Barry goes down, shut down from the next door. There is big Onoki going for those Raging Slashes. Tries, there's Terrify going for Ioni. Hydra is the target, but he runs away. Drain Next Door is still alive. No, unfortunately not anymore because Wind of Nature was already popped, so that means he is free for the taking and Lacarters need to defend 3 men against 4 as the Lord marches onto the mid lane.
Lord marches down the middle lane with 2 heavy minions, 1 knight minion and 2 mage minions, just allowing them to get that extra push damage. But look at that big stun coming in on Carter.
Gets stand up, he's still alive. Big ultimate coming from Kadita. Hayabusa putting up this work. Indeed, Hydra goes down and it's only Ioni. Can Ioni defend? I don't think he can. Killing spree for Sankai and Jackpots make it back. And they're still alive. They are still in the tournament. They are still in the qualifier. And Lacarters have to say bye-bye.
Man, oh man, what an intense game coming in from Jackpots and from Lacarters. The early game was won by Lacarters, everyone can see that. But the fun in the late game fouls off so much. The Hayabusa was getting so much farm. The Vexana, as soon as a Terrify caught that Fanny or even caught Gazdavat, even the Arlot, they felt it so heavily because the Terrify is so annoying. It can also chain to your teammates if they're too close to you. And the Vexana passive also does a ton of damage on defending waves. The second a minion dies, the passive it explodes and it does a ton of area damage. An amazing game coming from both sides. Of course, the better players took the win. It was a back and forth game like in most of this series today besides one. But man, Warren, what an amazing series.
It was truly, it was truly an insane duel where Lacarters were so far ahead, but Jackpots were able to make it back. So it looks like the DNA of Jackpots is truly running in their veins because they were able to make it through. And I don't think Lacarters were a weak opponent. They were definitely very formidable indeed. Their early game orientation was so good. But unfortunately, Jackpots were able to make it back. I would especially pinpoint Hayabusa as the biggest reason, one of the biggest reasons, together with the Vexana. Because I don't know if you saw, because he was doing it in the thick of those crazy fights, but those fears were going on the right targets, making so much space, so Lapu Lapu can connect with Land Shaker, with Raging Slashes, he can put up so much damage, and Hayabusa has time to just go for the right targets.
Quick look at the itemization. Again, we're gonna see most normal builds coming in from both of the sides. The only thing I want to point out is the Hayabusa died at level 2 trying to dive the Kadita. That's when they got the lead on Lacarters. They just had so much advantage. Merely Dixon missed the retribution on the bot lane. I mean, he was just too slow getting to that red buff. It allowed Hayabusa to claim it before he could invade, and I think that's also a big mistake coming in from Lacarters. She had the Fanny, they had the Gazdavat, they had the Kadita as well, and the Kadita still had a lot of damage early. It was a good peak, however, Dre next door underperformed a little bit.
Well, he had it a little bit rough. That's definitely something you have to keep in mind. Onoki was gunning for him, Sankai gunning for him, Synchro gunning for him, and Beru. Oh man, in many of those fights, he was just taking those gold lane 1v1s because he knew that Claude will out damage Granger in those close 1v1s when it's just them two. And with all that considered, that means you kinda cannot put it so much on Dre. I feel like the orientation in the teamfights was just better from the side of Jackpots. Or maybe it was their team comp, but those late game fights were looking so much better from the side of Jackpots. Whereas Lacarters were looking good only when they made a pick off. Which kind of makes sense, right? They have AOG, they have Final Slash, Kadita possibly wants a setup for herself. But when those fights started like 5 men running into 5 men, it was Jackpot's game.
I mean, if you take into consideration the big plays, Synchro made a lot of good Terrifies plays, as you said, just catching out Drake, catching out Eoni. But Eoni also made some good plays. If you remind that Lord fight, he just escaped, dashing a billion times versus 4 targets from Jackpot's number 2. But still, really good play coming from both teams. 21-minute game. The game was extremely close. I mean, it was in favor of both teams at the same time. 2 Lord Marches from each side, 2 Turtles from the side of Lacarters. But still, it's the last time we're going to see Lacarters during this tournament. We wish them good luck on the next one we're going to host. Who knows, maybe they're going to come back even stronger. I remember talking to Dre a little bit a few weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. He was with a different team, but he was doing pretty well. But his team looks like a brand new team. I think they should stay together, stick together, work a little bit, because they're making a big progress.
They definitely look scary. Of course, we will know a little bit more after we will see how far Jackpots will make it. But if we are looking, like if someone has a future seeing hat or future seeing glasses and they know that Jackpots either like make it into semifinals or even into finals, or they literally qualify, well then Lacarters have nothing to be ashamed of. Of course, we will see how deep the run of Jackpots will go. But looking at the quality of the games that we already saw, I think Jackpots are definitely up there.
I agree with you, but of course they are in the lower bracket, so one mistake could lead to disaster. They could be, they could just lose the chance to qualify. It's so hard. As I said, we said at the start of the stream, we saw how hard some of these games are. The big mistake versus Method Black, that game was brutal. This game as well, the first game as well, was really brutal. The only game that was kind of, a swipe, kind of a one-sided game, the one between Astra Inc and Gazdavat. But taking a quick look at the brackets right now, Meta Shift versus Honor still didn't play. I believe they're gonna go next, but Divine Bloodline lost a lot. 1-0 Honor, 1-0 to Richas Slesian. But still, it's gonna be an intense game. This is gonna go to the finals, if I'm not mistaken. It's gonna be a best of 3. We're gonna watch one more game, if I'm not mistaken, Warren.
Oh, absolutely, you should be correct. Before we were supposed to go for 6 games, that's what we said in the beginning, but unfortunately due to technical difficulties, we will be cutting this a little bit short, and also because this first game went especially long. It was like 27 minutes, right? So we will be cutting it a little bit shorter, so you will be seeing last game right now, right after we will finish seeing this bracket. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for the bracket, so you see your favorite teams, how they are doing. You can see MEC Esports going over Sponty Sports. They will be dueling Hack beat Borbs Gaming. Of course, we still don't know who will we be watching in the next one, but definitely it will be a blast. It's going to be awesome. So for sure, stay tuned. For sure, like the stream. For sure, subscribe. And I think there was already one giveaway happening, but I think let me check what are the numbers, but I think it's quite possible that there could be also another last one.
I believe when we hit 100 likes on YouTube, we're gonna have that next giveaway. So make sure to guys to like, to join the Discord, to share to your friends. But I wish we could go down to the lower brackets to check out. Wait, Astra Inc lost? Who did Astra Inc lost? Mr. Production, could you scroll a little bit down?
They did indeed.
I believe
against Wreckpulse. Against Wreckpulse.
Wow. Wreckpulse beat Astra Inc. Big plays coming in. Wreckpulse, I have to check this team out myself. But Warren, it was unexpected after the Gazdavat just Slaughterfest. Astra Inc lost. Wow.
Absolutely unexpected, as you are saying. For them to get beaten over by some other team, well, we definitely need to keep our eyes peeled for Wreckpulse, because they are definitely a team we need to count in and we need to be careful about. So I'm very excited when we will see them on the stream, and possibly if they make it deeper, we will for sure see them on the stream. Well, right now, let's wait for our production to prepare our next game. Really thinking about or really wishing for our teams to decide on the advancing rivers, because that's something we didn't see yet. We saw, of course, broken walls, we saw flying clouds, we saw dangerous grass, but we didn't yet see those advancing rivers. So it's something I would look out for. Also, it would make the game especially deadly and especially fast-paced, even though MLBB is very fast-paced. If you take all MOBAs into consideration, they are MLBB is definitely, if you have a graph, it's definitely on the very fast side. Even though I heard that in the past it wasn't really like that and it was accelerated from you boys. So, but right now in the state that it is, it's very fast-paced. Gazdavat, we can see this should be the loser bracket if I am right, I think. Yes, that's loser bracket indeed. So we see that Gazdavat made it through Black Void, made it through Ethereum, and right now they are waiting in the round 5. And since Jackpots won, they will be matching Big Mistake, so that's very personal for you, Zakota. So, of course, wish your boys best of luck. Renchak and Lashini already made it through their opponent at a fall, so that means we have to count them in for the round 5 as well, if you see on the bottom. Alright. We see a lot of familiar names. They will be matching OP Noctalis, which made it through Bankai and Divine Bloodline. Astra Inc right now against their opponent Prime Stars, who got through Farm First. It looks like Farm First didn't really stick to their strategy, looks like, because all right, I think we got info from the technical department that we will be seeing Astra against Prime Stars, I think. So that's something to be very excited about, because we will see how Astra are shaken up or not shaken up from their defeat against their opponents in the upper bracket, because wow, what a game. I would love to see that screenshot, because how could that have happened? Of course, after we will see their opponents in action, then we can tell much more. Just going through the loser bracket once more, Azure going through Outer Glow, they are already waiting in the 5th round. Borbs Gaming unfortunately falling to New to Culture, so New to Culture going through. Just reading it out loud for you viewers, so if you have some team you are rooting for, you know how they are doing. All right.
Man, not many words left to be said. The games were amazing today, but of course I believe the last one is gonna be a banger, Warren. I mean, do you have any expectations? We saw Astra Inc lost to, I believe, some of the previous Romanian champions of ISCF. I believe Bucati and Fifth are on the roster, if I'm not mistaken. And I think Kenzo as well. So it's a pretty strong roster, if I'm not mistaken, but I wasn't expecting them to lose this early on, especially to a team. I mean, they beat Gazdavat, one of the best teams from the relegation brackets, of course, top 8, and they only played of the qualifiers for that. So I think it's a wow thing that they completely demolished them in under 10 minutes or even on 10 minutes even, but still it's gonna be a really hard match for them. It's gonna be a deciding factor if they go forward, if they not go forward at all.
It's definitely deadly, because not most of the times, but of course you have half of the tournaments where you don't really fall out in the first days, but right, what we have here, we have the other half where you have those tournaments where you can fall out in the first day, so super deadly. Oh, we will be having Flying Cloud, so that means a lot of quick feeding or a lot of getting fed quickly. So we will see how it will roll out for each of those teams. As we have already said before, many times Flying Cloud we feel like is the least impactful one. So maybe that's why they are going for it, because those teams don't want to decide their team comp based on how what the map is, but they want to be more flexible. Maybe that's the idea.
I mean, it's really hard to draft for Flying Cloud because I saw people saying, oh, you could go for a big impact drummer like a Tiger, like a Minotaur, but I think you're too easy to read out. If you're gonna go with a Flying Cloud, you're a big, cow flying through the air on a cloud. This guy is gonna be, expected. However, on the expanding river, you're gonna be able to rotate much faster. You're gonna rotate through the jungle. You're not gonna be rotating through the river itself, through the jungle, so you're gonna be a bit safer for the mages to travel, or even for the gold/XP. But let's get back into the draft against Astra Inc and Prime Stars. Really strong lineups coming in from both sides. Prince, Super Karma, Damian Gur, John, and Note QT. And on the other side, of course, Marlon, Yuri Drew, Nix, Jonsky, and Capo. Really strong lineups. Both of these lineups are really heavy. We're going to see the Luno getting banned out, the Bakshi getting banned out. On the other side, we're going to see the Yisun Shin finding his way out the door, CC as well. What is Astra Inc going to go for? Are they going to go out for the Jukshin ban, or are they going to go for the Lunox? I mean, the Lunox are banned.
Yeah, I just wanted to pinpoint that Lunox is already off the board. Together with Bakshia, CC gone, Jisunshin. We didn't see that many Jisunshin bans. I believe I think he was banned once, but we are at the 5th game, so that means 3 times he went through. I think 2 times he was picked up. 1 time, I don't know what happened there. I think he just wasn't picked up. So definitely high priority over this guy. And what is this telling us is actually Prime Stars were probably watching the game because Astra Inc was already on the stream, and I think they were successful with Jisung Chin. Of course, this is already the 5th game, so I might be wrong, but I think I'm like 85% correct. Yiv banned for Astra Inc. So that's already telling me that they want to have some kind of very teamfight heavy, very stick together comp. Maybe something like Hylos, maybe something like Farsa, I don't know, maybe it could be something like that. Even though Yiv gets outranged by Farsa, she's still staying in one position, so if Yiv surprises her, she can go for the real manipulation, burn her flicker, so that could be the idea. Of course, still the idea could be for Astra Inc to just go for, alright, it's Jukshin, so the question is answered, and now it's Prime Star's time for an answer. But right now, looking at it, I feel like it's so easy for them to just go Kalia Farsa. What do you think?
I think the Kalia Farsa is a really good shout. However, it's a Jukshin. You cannot really lane with a Farsa against the Jukshin. You need something that has a CC immunity. The Eve is banned out, the Kimi is banned out. Both of these heroes can escape the grasp of the Lantern, so it's a little bit easier for them to lane against. I think they're gonna go for a later mid pick. I think here they have to look, as you said, maybe the Kale, even the Gatotkacha. But right now, what would be good? Lancelot is open on the table, Fredrin is open on the table. Fredrin works really great into this Jukshin. But another thing I noticed, you didn't see a lot of the Obsidia. People, I don't think, like her that much.
Well, So far from what we saw, it looks like they definitely like her more in the ranked, even though I must say, even in ranked, I don't see that much of Cydia. So either she is super weak or she's like super skill expressed. That's something you have to tell me about. I don't know like what is the problem. I don't know why people don't like her that much. Do you feel like she's underwhelming? Do you think she needs a buff? Or do you think she doesn't fit in the meta?
I don't think she's too weak. I think she's too weak, but she's too strong at the same time. It works against tank junglers like a Fredrin. If you play Fredrin into an Obsidia, you're gonna get slaughtered. If it's the other way around, you play an Assassin to the Obsidia, you're gonna get slaughtered on Obsidia. It's really hard to say because it's difficult. Obsidia has no dashes. It's actually a movement upside, but they're gonna go for the Grok Arlot. We've seen the Grok peaked a lot in the upper stages in the relegation and in the Thunder Division, of course, but the Arlot we've seen last game, we saw how strong he can be. Right now, the Fredrin looks like a primo target for Prime Star Lancelot, and I mean, of course, Ironsky with the Lapu Lapu. We saw how strong it was, we saw how good it was. Man, it's gonna be a hard draft. Both of these teams. The Grok is really good into the Lancelot is really good into the Arlot, the Lapu Lapu is good into the Grok, so it's a 50-50.
Yeah, I'm a little bit scared because from what we saw and from like how those heroes work, and especially not really how those heroes work, but I must say the biggest problem with this XP lane matchup is probably that Arlot is really dependent on his team because of the build that you have to go in competitive, which is just the hammer that you possibly end up building into Hunter Strike like at the complete end of the game. And other than that, you just go, all right, we have Angela on the board, but other than that, you just go tank items. So that means you need your team for set, or like you set it up and the rest of the team carry you. You don't have the damage. But Lapu Lapu is very flexible. You can go like 2 damage items, 3 damage items, just 1 damage item. It really depends on the team comp, but you still do so much damage and you can still decide, all right, there's an opening, I'm taking it, I'm killing this guy, I'm forcing this flicker, I'm doing this. That's at least how I view it, how I see the competitive Arlot compared to competitive Lapu.
I mean, it's going to be hard, but right now they're going to pick out the Angela, as you said, and that can allow her to go on either mid or on roam. And I think on mid she's really weak because they're going to have to go for a Harit on the gold, which is also possible, but they're going to need a really good jungler, a Fredrin, but they're going to go for the Iritel gold. So it's going to be a roam. Wait. It's already a mid lane Angela because they go for the Grok, but they're going to lack so much magical damage. Are they going to go for an Amon pick?
Well,
this is going to be a difficult draft to try to guess, but Marlon is possibly going to go for the... I mean, Moscow is really great here, but the Heart is open as well, I was going to say. And the Hylos, which is going to stop the Iritel from marching down and running away. She's going to cripple that Tiger a little bit. And also, you're going to be able to catch out that Angel. You're going to be able to catch that Art. You're going to be able to run for the Grok as well, so it's a really good character to pick right here. What's going to be their jungle? Because they're lacking a lot of magical. They're also lacking a ton of damage. The only damage on Prime Star is the Iritel. The mid is that what if they're going to go for a jungle Grok? Maybe they're going to go for something out of the ordinary. Maybe even Prince go jungle Arlot. But again, that's just speculation. They really need a jungle here where it's going to be out of joke soon. But what is it going to be? The Ling into this draft? Oof, really, oof.
I'm not sure if I'm liking it because Zhuxin has a dash, Uronsky has a dash, Nyx has a dash, Marloni has a dash, and alright, you can hit Kapowski, but do you really need to hit him though? That's the question. I am hating Link so far. I don't think it's the right pickup, and I'm so scared for Prime Stars.
I mean, Prime Star, Super Karma is gonna feel the Karma's not going his way. Picking Link into this draft, of course, you're gonna have some counters. But you cannot really go because there's auto tank. Look already at the poke going on John. You're not gonna have enough magical damage to deal with the team. I mean, look, Ironsky is gonna go Antiquarius Blade Armor, so is gonna be Capo. You're gonna go for, of course, the dominant size, and he's gonna be feeling extremely sad as a Link and as a, Iritel, they do critical damage. So Blade Armor is a no-brainer item. You have to rush it, you have to go for it, as well as the dominant size to slow down the attacks, to slow down the healing. Man, oh man, I think the draft was won by Astra Inc from the beginning because the Grok is good, the Arlot is good as first picks, but the Ling completely killed it off. And of course, the Angela also killed the drop because you're gonna lose so much magical damage potential. It's not even close. If they went maybe for the Irrital, if they didn't go for the Irrital pick, they went for the Harriet pick to get that extra magical damage they really needed. It would have been a complete game changer. But Mardon picked it up, sniffed it out. I mean, you can already see the mid lane pressure. They're clearing inside their own turret.
Honestly, there's one thing I don't understand. That is that Astra Inc didn't went a single time into the jungle of Prime Stars, which they could have, because the mid lane pressure they have right now on their hands is something they should use.
Prince!
Oh, they go for Prince. Prince is alive, but I think Kapowski can finish. No, Wronski with a kill. First blood going for Astra Inc. And I don't know. I think this will be a slaughter. I know it's just one kill, but I don't like the draft at all.
I have to agree with you on that point, but I mean, looking at Superkarma, he's already going in the bottom. He's gonna try to maybe secure a bit of farm, but look at Marlon. He already knows he's there. He's seen him. Angela got that level 4 advantage, but the Blink has no blue. The Lancer is gonna take that turtle advantage away, just giving Marlon a little bit more defense. Superkarma is gonna go and try to secure his own blue buff, because you cannot do anything as a Link. You need that blue buff. The only guy I trust on Link during these tournaments is probably Zedel, because Zedel is a really great Link. However, right now I don't know a lot about Superkarma. I know he plays a really decent jungle, but still I don't think it's gonna be enough. You really need to be a good Link. You need to go maybe even for the red flame retribution to get that extra damage, because the enemies are gonna be so tanky and you're not gonna be able to shut them down. He went for the ice division to slow them down, to catch them in that Finch poise as well combo. But still, it's not gonna be enough. Prince is gonna be there. Ironsky is gonna secure that vision.
Going with the Bravest Fighter combination into Landshaker, into Raging Slash. He is picking on 4 members of Prime Stars. He doesn't care, he doesn't mind. But maybe he was too deep. Oh, he's still alive. Link, big ultimate. Ronsky still alive. Kapowski gets put down. Superkarma Prince finishing off Ionsky. Damgur is finished off himself, and Yuridru is the one to fall. John finishes him off. Prince under the tower. Nyx tries to chase for him, but Prince is still alive. Nyx goes for Prince. Prince perfect bait. I think they cannot go further.
2-4-0 trade, but look at Ironsky. He's gonna get a kill on. Never mind.
You have to give him the credit for that, because what a play coming from Prince against Ronsky himself on Lapu Lapu. Prince is frying. Alright, they completely stole my heart. If they will continue to play like that, it's playable even with this draft.
You have to be scared where credit is due. You have the Angela, who saved also a little bit of damage from Prince. He sustained a lot. Just getting that overshield is enough. But look at Ronsky, he's 1-1. He's a little bit behind Prince. They're the same score, of course, but Prince got such a big fat wave, as I like to call it. The third is going to spawn in on 3 seconds. Superkarma has his blue ready and up to go, but Nyx is 1 level higher. Of course, it's still a little bit behind, but Damyonger is there. Prince is there. The Angela is ready to rock and roll. Big dash is coming. The puncture is on point. Prince is gonna get off
for final slash, but he needs to retreat now. Kapowski with a 1v1. Angela on top of their carries. Prince goes down, but they are in the backline. Yuridru gets put down himself. Unfortunately, another member is down. It's Kiot. Kiot gets put down by Nyx. Nyx is playing it out. Nyx goes down himself. Superkarma jumping around, dashing around. Kapowski gets bowled off by Gur. John is chasing for more. Needs to flicker out because there's Ronsky. Big Bravest Fighter into Lineshaker, into Raging Slash. Gur is gone, and Grog is dead on the floor, and 1000 gold lead for Astra.
1000 gold lead from Astra, but still Superkarma is farming a lot, and he is doing an amazing job as the Link, even in this hard game and in the meta. That Link is not as impactful as he was back in the day, because he used to do so much damage to skill that you could instantly burst down most enemies. But right now he is in a pretty weak state. Ironsky is gonna go in the bush, try to maybe catch out some of the members. But Kite is there. Gur
is getting pushed away, bursted down. Gur is always still alive. Maron jumped down for his death. Now Superkarma getting shielded by Angela. Goes for Nyx. Nyx is trying to jump around. Prince unfortunately misses the stun completely. Nyx is still alive. He's jumping around. Link ultimate pushes him down. Mega kill goes for Superkarma. Prince jumping around. Almost going with that CC. Double kill for Superkarma as he chases for more. Oh, wait a second. Big
Wronski.
Wronski play going for the dive. Double kill, maybe triple kill. Can be happening. It is a triple kill indeed for
Karma.
Wronski. Super Karma will try to finish him off. Wronski under the tower. Landshaker going with that 1v1 against Gur. It looks like Grog will just like kind of push him away and Wronski will run away. Yeah, he's fine.
Wronski is gonna be able to get caught out. If the Ling rotates towards top lane, I think that's over, and it's gonna be good night for Wronski. Bedtime. But right now, Super Karma is in a pretty good lead. Most damage dealt, of course, is gonna be Wronski. He is doing so much damage because of the AoE effects from the Landshaker and from the Bravest Fire. But look at Super Karma gets that hard guard available. Tectonic Charge misses.
Karma plays it. Tectonic Charge misses, as you have said. Nyx unfortunately finishes the turtle off, so they get it for Astra Inc. But there is Super Karma 1v4, 1v3. I don't think he can play. He is shut down. Nyx finishes him off, and Angela gets put down as well. Double kill for Nyx.
Wronski in the top lane, 1v1 Prince. And he won the trade-off. The Irrital is there. He's gonna be off HP, but look at that. Lethal Execution is gonna catch her out and shut her down. The farm was not there. Yuri Drew is gonna take that mid tower advantage in the bottom. Marlon is gonna be a little bit slow, but he's gonna be able to push that tower. Look at everyone on the flying cloud. Wronski is in the base. He's gonna try to go for German cut. Everyone is flying around. Samuel Gur sailed himself away with Wronski. It's like, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen curse. Your domain is right there, but look at Super Karma. He gets a hard guard on top of him. The Angela is just ulting every time she gets that ultimate available. The Link is gonna be extremely healthy. He's gonna be so rich. But the farm is there. He has 6 kills. He is the better farmer in the game, but still the XP is in the favor of Nyx. He was clearing a bit more. He was getting turret objectives and the turrets. But looking at the team comp right now, Prime Star is lacking a lot of magical damage, and I think Wronski is starting a lot of advantage of that. I don't think he has one magical defense item. I don't think even the boots are magical.
Also, the thing is that if you look at John, I know he's there to utilize his utility and shields on Super Karma, but he is not farming himself. He's just level 8. Yuri Drew is possibly hitting level 10 pretty soon, so that means John has no items, no gold for himself as another fight happens over the purple buff. There is Lynx together with Angela. Girl needs to flicker away. Yuri Drew getting pushed away. Kaposki with the glorious buff away. They will run away. Who got purple buff? I'm not sure. I think it was actually Nyx, right?
Nyx did get that purple buff advantage, but even so, the Tempest of Blades was there. It was used a little bit early, and that allowed the Link to escape basically unharmed, allowing him to possibly go for another fight. The Lord is up in 4 seconds. The Retribution advantage is going to be in favor of Prime Stars because of the Link. Of course, Tempest of Blades is going to be more of the sword. Is Nyx. Nyx has the Thorn Rose, he has the Puncture, he has the Little Execution, a lot of abilities allowing him to be untargeted. But right now, Dameon Gur is going to open up the ways. He's going to march down the top. The Beetle is there, he is ready to rock and roll, or as people, it's the Rhino Beetle skin. Look at that Landshaker coming through. Link is gonna be able to escape that fight. Landshaker
miss is completely, Dame is completely fine, and there is Prince trying to go for his final slash, doesn't really hit anyone, it whiffs. Aronsky now needs to run away, no Brave Fighter available as Dame pulls them off and gives some time for Super Karma to farm up and finish his orange buff.
Indeed, Super Karma is there, but he is not as fed as Nyx is. Nyx is just getting an objective, but look at Yorski is gonna go in, not even harmed. So much
Shaker goes for Grog, doesn't really hit. Final slash available, runs away with it, gets pushed away. Ronsky could be the target. Landshaker, he gets put down, shut down for not kid. There is Prince getting shielded by Angela, tries to play it out. CC going in the way of Kaposki, doesn't really hit though, so it's just 4 members defending their base. Super Karma doesn't really look like he wants to defend, he just wants to go for his purple buff. Maybe he will join now. Goes for Nyx, goes for his wall, jump over that wall. Goes over there, and it looks like he will be fine. And since Wronski is nowhere to be seen because he is dead, it looks like Prime Star should be able to defend their base. Lord marches onto the top side. There's no aura available. Kaposki is still up there. Untargetable Link runs away. Didn't hit his ultimate at all, but he jumps over there. Picks up Yuri Drew. Goes for Kaposki. Maybe goes for Nyx. Oh, he goes for him. Shut down for Super Karma. Triple kill, possibly. No, John actually stole it, and it's just Marlon. Will they go for him? Looks like he will be fine. Horrid is alive.
I think Astra Inc is intentionally throwing the game away, but right now Super Karma is doing an amazing job. We said the Link is not a great pick here, but he proved us wrong. He is playing it perfectly. Almost one-to-one comparison to Zedel's Link. But right now Super Karma is gonna be split pushing towards the top lane. Ironsky is gonna be there trying to bait out that Inch Boy, make him run away. He's gonna be able to defend that. I think Ironsky went for a damage-ish build on Lapu Lapu because he's doing a ton of damage to minions. of course, only, I believe, physical items built by Astra Inc. because they have no magical damage besides the Angela. Nothing that can hurt them. And Angela is not really a damage dealer. Taking a quick look at the itemization, I was correct. Antiquarius into element, elegant gem into dominance eyes as I expected. But the last one, I think, should have went from maybe a complete burst build. He went for the brute force, allowing him to get out of the sea a little bit earlier. Of course, he's gonna go for the enhanced basic attack with the endless battle. Harriet went for a full build, his 8,000 gold. I mean, just look at that dominance finally picked up by Kapowski, allowing him to completely decimate the healing coming in from Supercar and from not Kai Cutie. But right now, the Lord is up in 20 seconds. The bot lane, there is a fight. Finch Boys going through.
Super Karma should be fine. I think he is the one choosing the fights and he can fight or not fight. Maron with a face check is surely canceling him out. Super Karma needs to run away. He should be fine possibly, but that could mean that they will have enough of a time to take Lord.
Exactly, the Lord fight has already started. Nyx is there doing already one of them. Marlo Cutie is there. Concealed play coming through. The tectonic charge is coming through.
Oh, they are playing it out. Angela on top of Super Karma. Super Karma goes for that full engage with ultimate available. Jump away, jump around. He's waiting for the rest of the team to join in. Dame is tanking it all together with Grog, but he is dead. Unfortunately, Uridu finishes him off. But 1v1 with sprints against... not really against Lapu, because Lapu is going for the mid lane tower, runs away with Bravest Fighter and just buys enough time for his team. It looks like Ronsky wants to play this 1v4. I don't think this is a fight he should go for. Raging Slash available, completely misses. Now Ronsky needs to run away, but he doesn't really care at all.
He bait out that hard guard at least at the end of the day. Yaronski did a good play. He was forcing out that mid lane turret as well. He was pushing it by himself, I believe, with no minions, and he was still sustaining. That just shows how strong Lapu is against physical attack heroes. That's why I thought that they were gonna go for the Hardy, but they went for the Irrital pick, which is surprising me a little bit. Right now, John has to be doing the only magical damage. If Marlon goes for maybe the Wind of Nature, surprisingly, somehow. But I don't think it's gonna happen. Super Karma is gonna cut the wave, minions is there, Tempest of Blades is available, Hardguard is also there and ready to rock. Finch Boys, I think it's true. But look at Nyx. He's gonna try to chase down the link.
Fine. I don't think Nyx can connect on him. Super Karma is trying to recall, but I don't think he can. It was just like a taunt. And the rest of us right now are pushing into mid line. Grok is there to defend. Link is recalling. It looks like it will be fine because it's like 10,000. Yeah, Lord is gone. This defense should be happening, but might be a fight happening. There's big wall going for Kapowski. Final Slash doesn't really connect. It whiffs, so that means big land shaker doesn't really connect. So that means Ronsky is his flicker not available anymore. Final Slash, Tectonic Charge doesn't really hit. There is Super Karma trying to play it out, but no Angela available on top of him because John doesn't have his ult yet. Oh, he has it now. I think he's ulting on top of him, even though he's recalling, so I don't know what's that combination really about. Right now there's Prince, no Final Slash. Oh, there is Final Slash. There's big Final Slash. Go in together with Grog. They try to play it out. They to defend their base. Prince goes down. Ronsky is in the back trying to separate. Super Karma tries to go for the backline of his opponents as well. Ronsky, Kapowski, Marlon trying to go for the base. Minions are still there. No, minions are dead right now. Ronsky, bottom wave is being pushed in, so that could be something that they might work with. Not really, they have to retreat. Waiting for next Lord.
That's the only choice. 1 minute, the next Lord. They're either gonna go for a fight, they're gonna go for the Lord, March, and inhibitor turrets left. Not one tower, not one turtle, not one Lord taken by Prime Stars. But still, it's only a 3 kill difference and an 8,000 gold lead. They're gonna recall in the mid lane, just taunting the enemies a little bit. Everyone is fully built on the side of Astra Inc, if I'm not mistaken. Only maybe the roam is left out a little bit. And they're gonna go in a line. A proper taunt coming in from Astra Inc, already showing how dominant they were during the game. They were losing some fights, but I think they're not taking it seriously.
Well, Twilight Armor finished for them, so even more tanky. Going for Marlon, actually. Angela on top of Super Karma, but Super Karma gets bursted down. No immortality for him. John needs to flicker away. He's still alive, but gets pushed away by Jukshin. Crispy for Yuridu, and I think this is the last nail in the coffin of Prime Stars, because I think Astra will finish them off right now.
Irrital is there, she has the heavy crossbow. Prince is ready with his final start, but look at Inoski!
Wronski going for that backline, Brace Fighter going in, still
Tectonic
HP
charge
on the Crystal, he goes for Keith, Keith needs to run away, he's still trying to fight it out, but he dies, Brock is dead as well, even with the Tectonic charge with Prince is alone, and I already saw one Arlo defending the base alone, and it never went well, and it won't end well even now. And unfortunately, the last game of today is just sad for Prime Stars because they are out. We have to say goodbye to them, but we have to say hi once more to Astra Inc because they were able to push through, and even after that rocky start of this game that we just saw, they made it through, they pushed through, and Wronski, what a guy. Of course, all of them were playing phenomenally, but Wronski, he is definitely still in my heart because his Lapu is just so on point.
And of course, that was the last game of the day. Tomorrow is gonna be a best of 3 day, if I'm not mistaken, the semi-finals. I think Saturday is going to be the final best of 7, if I'm not mistaken. Make sure to check it out. It was an intense day today. We saw only 5 games out of 6 because of some time clinch issue. The games were so long. We weren't expecting it to go on for so long, but the games were amazing, Warren. Only one game really stood out for me, and that was between Gazdavat and Astra Inc. And of course, Method Black and Big Mistake. Really hard games, really fun games to watch. Which one was your favorite, Warren?
Well, that's hard to say because all of those games were very spicy, but I must give it to the third game it was. I think it was the third game of the stream right before our break because it went back to back and forth, and it was never really decided who will win. It was like a tug of war, always on the edge. You never knew who will come out on top, so I think that had to be my favorite, but of course I think I will need to switch my background because I'm falling in love with Lapu Lapu. I mean, Favos is out, Lapu is my wife now. So yeah, I have to switch my background for sure. And Wronski, he is making me fall in love with that hero even further.
Maybe you're gonna put a picture of Wronski and you're gonna put a picture of Lapu Lapu, you know, just a little edit picture of Wronski there on a, you know, on a tabloid. Just reminding you who made you fall in love. Of course, Light has been there next to Wronski, but let's take a quick look at the item builds and results. Everyone on the side of Astra in besides Capo had full builds, of course, but look at Super Karma. He was full build, but he was still not doing enough. Iritel almost had her Rose Gold Meteor. She still had her Magical Blade, enough to give her an Overshield, but still, you cannot do anything. You didn't have any magical damage. Look at the side of Astra, not one magical defense item on that side. If you count Oracle as magical defense, maybe you can think it, but it's more of a healing item. Of course, Lapu Lapu went for the full kind of damage build. Hunter Strike, War Axe into Queen Wings, into Oracle, allowing him to sustain a lot more damage and do a ton more damage. Of course, Juxian went for the Sky Piercer build, just punishing them down. Prince did some really good plays, but still at the end of the day, he couldn't do anything. He didn't have a really sustainable mid. Even if he was getting ganked, Wronski was too tanked, Cap was too tanky, Nixie also was too tank, but because look at, he was full damage, only one defense item and is not being able to burst it down by Karma. He was the only target, same as Marlon, no defense item, but still, you can't burst him down because you don't have a mage, you don't have something to close that gap between the members down. Taking a look at the damage, look at that massive damage coming from Lapu Lapu.
What can I say? He was the star of the show once more. I would really have to put a little bit of blame on the composition of Prime Stars because I feel like they made it harder than it should have been. I think they should have went for some normal mid lane, some more typical mid lane, because I really feel like if they didn't shoot themselves in the leg through the draft, I think the game could have been much more playable. At least that's my idea. Possibly it could also be a case that this was the team comp that they were practicing, so the reason why it looked so well is because they put so much practice into it. But if they were able to execute with that much precision and with that much teamwork and skill some more traditional compositions, I think that it would work a little bit more in their favor, because especially in those late game fights, everyone was on top of each other and Super Karma just couldn't pick apart any of the members because Ridru was together with Nyx, together with Marlon, and together with Kapuski. He couldn't pick one target because if he went for it, it didn't matter that he would get CC'd. He didn't get CC'd, but he got bursted down.
I mean, if you take a quick look at Prime Star draft, it was mostly late game heroes. Ling late game, Irrital late game. Angela was the only early with Arlott, but all other members were late game heroes. On the other side, you had early, you had mid, you had late. You had early in Lancelot, Lapu Lapu, you had mid in Hylos and Jukshin, and you had late in Harit. I mean, that's a well-rounded off draft. It works at all times of the game, but you cannot say more. This game, I think it was just a mistake picking out Angela on the mid. But before we go, I mean, man, look at the gold obtained by Hironsky. 12,000. He was just a monster. He was in their base. He was taunting them. He was feeling a little bit toxic. I think he was mad about losing the top tier brackets.
That could be the case, and even though we came into this duel as something that could be very spicy, very even talent, in the end, you have to really give to Astra Inc, and you cannot, even though there were some nice moments coming from their opponents, coming from Prime Stars, you really have to give it to Astra Inc because they were definitely the stronger team, and I am excited about seeing them further into the tournament. Well, one last look on the bracket. We see Meta Shift against Honor. That's a game that's waiting for tomorrow. Renchiaki Lashini, of course, fallen before. There is Metal Black against Loyal Sword, so Metal Black still fighting strong. Unfortunately for you, big mistake going into this loser bracket. Misa Esports against Hack. So that will be definitely exciting. Then we have Carpe Diem against Vragpools. We already talked about this before because Vragpools put down Astra Inc. And if Astra are this formidable, I'm so excited about Vragpools because what are they going to show us? I hope that tomorrow we are going to see them.
I mean, a funny thing, both of those teams have a Romanian player. I mean, most Romanian players are on Vragpools, but on Carpe Diem, the jungler, I believe, is Romanian. But let's take a quick look at the loser brackets. The advancing team to the semifinals are going to be Gazdavat versus Big Mistake. Next up is going to be, I mean, wow. Jackpots, after that impressive gameplay, of course, went up against Big Mistakes, and I think it's already showed. I believe it was really fast game from what I read in the group chat between the breaks. But next up, Rechka Leslie versus Aetherfall. It's still not finished. Who do you think is going to take the win? I believe it's going to be Lesna's team here. Of course, you know, have to support our boy. Versus OP Noctalis. This is going to be another game for tomorrow. The one against Divine Bloodline. In the other lower brackets, we just saw Astra Inc versus Prime Star. And we already know that Astra Inc is advancing to the semifinals. But against who?
Well, that's definitely to be decided. No, it's already decided because it's against Azure, so Astra Inc against Azure. I think we didn't see Azure, right? Yeah, they matched against Afterglow. Kiss yourself, all right? Yeah. So we don't know how rough that will be for them. I didn't quite catch it in the upper bracket, so we will see. And also if. I think that tomorrow we are not immediately getting semifinals. I think we will still have 2 more rounds of those BO1. So don't be too excited, Zakota, because we are getting those semifinals, but a little bit later. I know you are so excited for those BO3s because it's going to be so high. But before that, tomorrow we will have 2 BO1s firstly. So not yet in the semifinals, but we will get there. Don't worry. Well, today has come to a close. We hope you enjoyed today's games. Unfortunately, it was cut short. We could have seen one more game, but I think those games, they were long enough. I think like having one almost 30-minute game and a couple of like over 20 minutes games, I think there was a lot of MLBB to take in. So we hope you enjoyed. It was me, Warren Next, together with Zakota. Of course, like, subscribe, join the Discord, check the giveaways and be a part of community because we are building something there and we hope you are enjoying it. Zakota, how did you enjoy it today?
It was an amazing feeling. Of course, as you said, I'm a little bit sad that it wasn't 6 games, but the games we had were extremely long and that put a really big hold on the production side of the things because the teams advanced, some advanced too fast, some advanced a little bit slower, so we just stayed in games a little bit longer. However, it was an amazing day and good luck tomorrow, guys. I don't think I'm gonna be casting. Maybe I'm gonna make a surprise entry, but who knows. Warren, it was amazing casting with you. Of course, make sure to join the Discord. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram, on Facebook maybe. but I believe that's gonna be the end. Any last words, Warren?
Well, today was a blast, and tomorrow is going to be even blastier. That's a word for today. So tomorrow it will be blastier. I hope you are excited, and we will be signing off.